And welcome back to episode 82 of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. We are the podcast by crew for crew. I'm one of your hosts, Big Keith, and I am joined by my good colleague here, Big Joey,
Hey,
as well as one of the Davids. We're not really sure who it is yet. We'll probably have to wait till we get him on the horn, but we do have one of the Davids with us.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are we doing?
Good, good.
What are you drinking over there, David? If anyone, no one's, we might throw this up on Instagram, but David has a beans and toast as his background thing on the Zoom call that's just hysterical. So I'm curious if that's what he's eating. I'm really curious what he's drinking.
it's just it's beans, sparkling water. It's
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not drinking beans, but I would eat some not cool beans, but warm beans. Yeah, beans on toast with cheese. That's the key. That's the key element. What am I drinking? I got a Maui Brewing coconut porter.
Hmm.
I like porters, and the coconut kind of keeps it a little bit lighter. That's first. And then I've got a second can for when, this really goes long and we dive right in a few hours time.
Yeah, cool.
3 hour
back up,
podcast. That's our specialty now.
2 hour 54 minute is the current PR. Let's hopefully not break it tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of a good story on this one too. So I got an ugly water here.
Oh hell yeah!
Long time kind of Tanner favorite. I've been meaning to send these to the guys, but I just decided I'm going to drink them now. It's been like a year. I haven't sent them to them. So this is a discontinued ugly orange soda. So I'll be dipping into that.
Ooh, that sounds anything orange to get my attention.
Drinking it on our podcast and rubbing it in a little. Yeah, that's about right. I prefer that.
There you go.
Sounds good to me.
What about you guys?
Speaking of orange, I did find my Poland Springs Gatorade that I made up last week. Like right before the podcast, I threw a little Gatorade packet into a bottle of water, and I fucking misplaced it and ended up finding it in the bed underneath the blankets and shit. I don't know how the fuck it ended up there, but I saved it just for tonight. And then when that's gone, I'll knock out a bubbly.
That's last week's drink you're drinking.
Yeah,
Hell
it's
yeah!
okay. I threw it in the fridge. I wanted to save it.
The fridge will protect it.
Yeah, it's good. Nice and tart.
I'm drinking a Keats, but I've got a whole cooler of water behind me, so
Nice.
we're staying hydrated this week. It's Black Friday over here, boys. So it's just nothing but work.
That's this week and not next week, or you guys? Oh, you're a week ahead, aren't you, for Thanksgiving? Or am I
No, I'm like 2 months ahead for Thanksgiving, but when it comes to Black
Okay.
Friday, everybody wants in on the money to be made, so everything launches a little early.
Gotcha. That's not fun. Well, I'm wearing the Jefferson deadlift shirt. If anyone's wondering, just to I just want people to know where I was from. I am from America. I'm American. We like Jefferson deadlifts over here. Thomas Jefferson. I don't know if we like Thomas Jefferson honestly, but we like Jefferson deadlifts. So, what about you, Big Dave? What you got, buddy?
Not get political. So I had to do a little bit of research to decide what to wear. So I went back to my Massonomics account and I figured out which T-shirt was the first one I ordered.
Oh, nice.
And it was this one, the Lift Hard, Live Easy skull with the beer hat. So yeah, Lift Hard, Live Easy.
Love it.
I'm actually wondering if I have that one.
I do not. It's on my eventual get list.
I wonder. Oh man, I need to go through all this shit. I just have the original lift. Honestly, I had a shower right before the podcast, and I was like, whatever shirt fits. So it happened to be this one.
The best blank, right?
It's got a good blank. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I got out of the shower maybe about an hour ago. It was a ridiculously long day. I literally worked 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Got home and like I didn't have any energy to even take a shower. Like I sat on the couch and ate dinner, and my wife was like, "Are you gonna take a shower?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then like an hour later, she's like, "Are you gonna take a shower?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like looking at the clock, it was like 7 something. I was like, "Yeah, I really should take a shower because I gotta like start getting fucking podcast ready." So here we are.
Yeah, I got home from work and like I said, it's kind of work right now. And I guess I had phoned Morgan and just ranted for a few minutes. And I got home and she was like, I built a fire, go outside.
Oh, nice.
So I just sat by the fire pit for about an hour. And then I just reeked of fire and cigars. So it was definitely time to come in and shower at that rate.
Primal. Just got that fire burning.
It's my favorite thing. Sitting by the fire, smoking a cigar, a little bit of music, scrolling Discord. It's like my zone out time.
Hmm.
I feel like that was the one thing missing from Tanner's backyard party was a fire. There wasn't a fire at all, was there? Because that's something. I'm curious if he kind of lives in like a really nice neighborhood. They might have pretty strict regulations on fire. I only bring that up because, as everyone knows, by your time that you're listening to this, it should be sold out. Currently on November 16th at 8:41 p.m. Last I talked to Dave, there was 8 spots left, maybe 7. So that's pretty crazy considering there was 90 spots open 48 hours ago. And well, there was 89 spots open. This big.
Jack and
Well, yeah,
Ginger.
there he is. He got his pre-registration, so I was pretty happy. I don't know if anyone was paying attention, but it kind of looked like Joey and I both posted ours at like 11:59 that we got in. So I mean, maybe we got a little sneaky link from one of the hosts, but I don't know. But hopefully everyone else has gotten signed up that wanted to.
Crew perk. Crew perk. So you both signed up for powerlifting?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I missed out on
Nice.
the strongman, but mostly because I'm not strong and I'm under 200 pounds. So some people say I'm not even a man. So definitely wasn't getting in on that one.
Yes, I'm in on strongman. Not
Hell
powerlifting.
yes. So whoa, are you gonna like? How long is that flight?
Flight to the Twin Cities is like 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, 3.5 hours, and then I'll drive from there. Yeah,
Outstanding.
not too bad.
Which division are you in? Or are you a big guy? Are you a big guy? Or are you a bigger guy? However they have it worded there.
I'm a big guy. Yeah,
Okay. Was that the 200 to 250 or something?
smallest of the big guys. Yeah, under 250.
Gotcha.
Yep, I've done strongman at sub 200, and now I'm not sub 200. So yeah, I'm 231 class.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I signed up for the weight class I want to be in. But part of me is like, fuck it, just gain as much weight as possible by then. Like just go hard on the protein and then do the scants thing, the peanut butter and jam sandwiches 3 times a day, just like get big.
Mhm.
And then I started talking to Morgan like the way that some of the podcast guests talk when they're that big, when they she was like, don't you dare become a heavyweight. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely not comfortable. I'm not at this weight because I enjoy it. I just like food too much currently. But
Yeah.
it kind of is what it is. But I did see that I'm kind of excited. Damager went masters, so that's one less 275 submasters I got to beat to place third.
So there you go. The weight classes in the jungle, right?
Yeah,
The masters classes in the jungle.
No,
Well,
but it
because
should be fun.
we're supposed to just throw ourselves off a cliff at a certain time.
Mm-hmm. We're all
But,
about the same age, right? 38, 39.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that'll be
pretty much
30.
actually.
Cusp of masters.
Yeah, I'll have one more season of submasters meets, and then I'll be good to go. Because the local meets I find myself doing lately have been USAPL because it's the only one I don't have to drive 90 minutes to do. I can literally drive 5 minutes and do it. So it's like as much as I don't love deadlifting on a power bar or whatever, doing 24-hour weigh-ins, and then it sucks because they do a morning session or an afternoon session. At least my local federation, my local meet director. So I end up not being able to lift till like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and I'm like, that makes such a shitty day because I don't want to be here till 9 o'clock. I want to go home. But where was I going with that? Oh, they don't have submasters. USAPL doesn't have submasters, so you're open until you're 40, and then it's 40. It's either a 5 year or a 9 year, whatever it is, but it's like masters M1, M2, whatever. But there is no submasters in USAPL, so it's like I've basically been open in that federation, even though I can be submasters in like every other federation in the world.
I do WRPF here, and I guess I'm obviously doing XPC in the States, but me and Steve have been just dying because now the running joke in our house is that we are internationally placed competitive athletes.
Mhm.
But it's like the lift hard, live easy, and like local meets, but like technically we are international athletes.
There you go.
It turns out the wives are just not that into that. They don't think it's as funny as we do.
I've never done a powerlift. I've never done powerlifting meet, but in strongman definitely there's like a stigma, right, to actually competing as a master, especially if you've like just turned
Mm.
40. Is it the same thing in powerlifting, or you're just automatically?
With powerlifting, you can choose. Like you can basically you have to pay extra. So when you pay your 100 anywhere, well, fuck, powerlifting meets used to be $75. Now they're $125 and everything
Jeez.
in between. I think I
Everything
even paid
going
one.
on.
I think I've even paid. Yeah, I think I've even paid 150 for one before. But with that, that gets you entry to one division. So that's either going to be open, or submasters, or masters, or all this, or juniors and all that shit. You can pay an extra $40 and enter another division, and then so that basically gives you the opportunities to win medals in both classes. I don't love that just because it's like I don't. The biggest reason I don't like that is my OCD of like open powerlifting looks weird after that because you have multiple entries for one meet. So like if you didn't look at it right, you'd be like, oh, this guy's done 20 meets and now he's done like 10. So I don't see the point of wasting the money for it.
Oh,
But
buddy,
also like
we learned on Discord today, man. This is a sport. You got to inch every little piece that you can to be the best that you can be. There is no looking down on any of it.
I do agree with most of what was said in there, but the specific where I draw the line is like I don't feel the need to sign up for multiple divisions, but that's just the selfishness of me of like, well, if I'm submasters, I don't want you to go open and submasters and take my chance to get my fucking medal because I'm vain and I would love to still get a medal at the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic, even if I only total 1,200 pounds. But like whatever, that would be a huge PR for me, so I'll take it.
Everybody's got a line.
Yeah. So speaking of lines, and lines being crossed, I got Tanner, man, what is up with the sleeves are overrated? Not really. If you actually watch the video that came out last week, usually we're able to, I think he ended up releasing that video on Friday where they usually do it Thursday, so we didn't get to talk about it last week, so we can touch base on it real quick. Did anybody get a chance to watch the sleeves is overrated from last Friday?
Yep.
Yep, I watched them.
Yeah, so I think my knee jerk reaction was like, I don't agree with it. That's stupid. But then, like when you watch his video, he kind of like double talks his way out of it, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I can see the point of that. So, good video. I definitely think it's going to get some clickbait attention just because it's like people are going to be like, hey, what the what? Sleeves are not overrated, but I don't know. He did explain himself well, and I agree with like his general point.
Yeah, I think it's the spirit of overrated, underrated, right? It's like, do I like knee sleeves versus are they overrated? Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't wear them if I didn't think I had to.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like I said, my MCL starts quivering when I get to a certain weight, and it's like some pressure would help. I still haven't figured it out. I think I can wear kinetic tape.
Oh,
Like
you
I,
can look it up. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I think in the WRPF you can wear K tape.
That is one meet direct for email away from having that answer for a meet
Yeah,
that is in like 3 weeks, Joey. You might
but
want to send that
then
email
I have to
tonight.
shave my legs, and I'm not too fucking down for that again.
Eh, nothing wrong with a little manscaping.
Then the other one that came out, yeah, the hack squat, and
Yeah, that was a decent one.
yeah, especially because I have those collars, and
Yeah, those you
actually,
have Grant's collars. Yeah,
yeah, I love those. They're
I did
fantastic.
like. I tried them at the Lift Hard Live Easy, and I was like, okay, I'm like I'm warming up. I don't know how these work. I tried them once. I was like, I'm good. Give me the spring collars. Like I don't have time to learn something right now.
Mhm.
But I'm sure if I like had them for like a half hour, I'd be like, oh, okay, I know how to use these easily with one hand. But
Yeah,
I did like his whole put the you have a plate on, you want to throw a quarter on, you don't have to take the collar off, you just fucking throw the quarter on and then move the collar over, and it takes like 3 seconds. That I liked. My
yep.
favorite part about it was he didn't actually latch it all the way when he demonstrated it, so that was probably my favorite part of the video.
They're actually a little difficult to use with one hand, and it's
Okay.
I guess with my tiny baby hands, because if you try and do it in a certain way, obviously your bar spins, so
Hmm.
you just end up spinning the bar a little bit, and if you're like already in a headspace, it's so fucking frustrating, right? You just we want to lift, we want
Oh
to
yeah.
add the weights,
Yeah,
but
you got to use
yeah,
two hands to close them. Yeah,
yeah,
even I don't have big hands, but yeah, I need two hands.
yeah, but definitely
What she
prefer
said.
those over the. I prefer those over the. What did I have before? They're actually the ones I had were kind of the same thing, but they were full on round collars,
Hmm.
and they just take up too much space. All about space saving here.
Well, speaking of taking up too much space, I got to thank a good buddy of mine, Big Mofo. I know I give him hell, and everyone thinks I think he takes up too much space, but he's a pretty good guy. He was one of the only person that actually reached out and offered to contribute a few bucks to the next sticker order. So thank you, Big Moto. You're a good guy. Don't let it go to your head though.
Because you gave him money. Everything else,
Oh
piece of
yeah.
shit. Now you give him money, he's on your side.
No, he's actually he privately DMs me like random shit about the podcast probably more regularly than most people. So he's you can tell he's a loyal listener and a good crew.
Yeah, it's good, dude.
And all he asks in return is a few pictures of your feet, right?
Yeah. With or without jizz on him, he's happy.
Dude.
That
What?
was a little. That was a little bummer.
It was like that. Everybody has a line.
Yeah. And I crossed it with my big toe.
Did you notice the Easter egg in the Hack Squat video? Did you watch it
No.
closely?
I literally it was playing while I was driving home, and I just kind of more listened to it than watched it, honestly.
So there was presumably a sneak peek of a drop
Oh,
item Kenna was
okay.
wearing.
Their long sleeve shirt, right? It looked like a long sleeve t-shirt, didn't it? With like Massonomics
Like
on the forearm, maybe.
Yeah, like a pocket tee, with some print down one arm.
Gotcha. And then were they wearing what looked like Massonomics polos at their like speaking event thing, or was that someone? Did someone pull up an old picture? 'Cause I thought that's what someone posted a picture what looked like them in like a Massonomics polo, but I don't know if it was like recent or not.
Kind of looked like it, but yeah, unverified reports.
Yeah, I'm very curious of what all comes out next week because I would definitely like to, bulk up the wardrobe.
I'll take a polo. That's Prime Masters marketing right there.
Yeah. It did look like the bench in 315 was back in stock behind him on the last podcast they were recording. So I was like, okay, if that comes out again, I'm picking that bastard up because I missed that one last time. I think I missed it twice. I was just like, I technically don't bench 315. I don't want to own that. And then I was like, well, I can hit. I've hit 315 with a 2 board and a 3 board, so that's close enough.
Go a size high on those.
Yeah, I got to go. Yeah, I'm take that into consideration.
That blank, the printing shrinks the shirt.
Gotcha. No, because there's a fair amount of print.
Yeah.
Gotcha. More blank talk. Come on, Tanner, figure it out, buddy. They kind of hate that we're busting balls on that. I know I would. I would just be like, really? Like you're gonna just keep picking on my goddamn business? Thanks, assholes.
They started it. They started it on Table Talk.
Yeah, that's true.
And now it's one of the funniest things going right now.
I enjoy it.
GGC is like in the wild swing. I think tomorrow's the last day of announcements, and I still haven't won anything. 4th year in a row. I won fuck all. I won $100 from one of the ambassadors, right? So Amanda, Big Bad Wolf, they're one of the ambassadors for GGC. Like I think Amanda was on their Twitch stream.
Mm-hmm.
I won $100 on their giveaway, and can't use it yet. So that's fun. It's $100 US Visa. I have yet to find a way to use it. So
aren't you literally in Niagara Falls at Target like every 3 months?
Well, it's online only. It's just digital. Unless I can somehow type the gift card into.
That's annoying.
Yeah. So no, it's really cool, but I should have just.
You'd have to. Well, no, I'm trying to
it back.
Maybe you'd have to you'd have to.
I think I have it on my Apple Wallet. I might be able to tap it in the US.
Online order shit and then pick up or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's cool though. I won something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
4 years of GGC and I win something from Amanda.
Save it for the zoo.
I tried to keep track of who all won from the crew, but it ended up being like 7 people. So it's like if you won and you're in the Discord, congratulations. We lost track of who you are, but you did it.
We did.
Oh, another one. Big. No, now one that I do remember is Big Jen won the free photo shoot basically, or the photographer. She didn't have to pay the extra $100 or whatever to get her pictures taken at Live Hard, Live Easy 2 2024. I think they're calling it part 2. Like I think Tanner's calling it part 2, and then Dave's calling it 2024. So we'll see what the end title actually ends up being. But congratulations, Big Jen, on winning that.
Hell yeah.
Let's see, and then what else we got? What is this bulk barn? Is that anything? What you got
So
is that you?
Yeah, I added that because I've been like doom scrolling on TikTok, and I think one of my favorite things to watch is Americans experiencing bulk barn for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
No, so neither of you?
Not a clue.
Oh, this is the best. So in Canada, we have a place called the Bulk Barn. And it is quite literally a place where you just go and buy everything in bulk quantity. They got baggies, reusable containers, disposable containers, but like candy, rice, laundry detergent, macaroni and cheese spices, like spices, peanut butter, soap, everything you can think of, Bulk Barn carries. And you go in and you just scoop it into a bag and you pay by weight based on the market price of this thing. So I want to hear how many of the non-Canadian crew out there have ever experienced Bulk Barn, because watching Americans utterly lose their mind in a place like Bulk Barn. And it's not like the prices are like cheaper or anything like that. Like a bag of M&Ms is still a bag of M&Ms.
Yeah.
You get to control how many you get.
It just seems like work though. Like, I mean, I guess if you're like particular and like, I want a bag and a half, not a bag. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. That just seems like I gotta go in and like sanitation, like people coughing on everything. I get that it's probably like behind
Everything's
something,
covered.
but
Everything's
you're
covered.
still opening it up and reaching in with your hand, and your hand could still be touching shit. Ugh. Unless it's like the turn dial and stuff just comes out, like that'd be all right. I'm
No,
sticking my hand in there.
the idea of bulk is it's in bulk, man. Like that's
Yeah.
I kind of think you would enjoy it because it is you just get to dictate down to the very last ounce
Yeah, it's kind of
how much you're spending.
like a buffet for grocery shopping, kind of lays in like I
Yeah.
just want a little bit of this, but I want a lot of that.
Yeah, I go there a lot mostly for candy just because I don't eat a lot of candy, so I buy it in small
That makes
increments.
sense.
But yeah, I just would love to hear it from the rest of the Discord if you've ever heard of or Google Bulk Barn and see it. But just watching it on TikTok, Americans just being like, "Where am I? What is this? This is the greatest."
Like, how big of a store is it? Is it like a huge, like Costco side store, or is
No,
it
absolutely.
like the size
It'll
of a
be
gas station?
no. Let's go in between. So it'll be usually
Okay.
be a retail space,
Yeah.
right? It's not like there's not a lot of standalone bulk barns. They're usually in like strip malls or
Okay.
something like that.
Oh, I've seen like health food stores like kind of have that same thing, right? Where you're scooping it out and doing it by weight, but it's like very one specific, category of food or whatever, right? Like not just general stuff.
Yeah. Bulk barn is literally anything you can think of.
Anything. Right.
Like you can even get vanilla beans. They're dumb expensive, but like you can get everything there. Saffron. Like one day I'll just do a video when I'm there just to send to post in you and just be like, this is what I'm talking about. And I bet it blows everybody's mind.
And you can eat as much as you want before you check out.
You were asked not to sample.
Random follow up. You had mentioned strip malls, and that got me thinking about like malls. And are malls dead in Canada like they are in America? Like, is that have they been like dying at this? Like, dude, I mean, I guess I'm curious. What's your take on malls in Canada?
They're doing all right. Specifically the ones that make sense, right? Like, so I don't know if you guys have it down there. I don't spend enough time down there. So we have malls that are like destinations. I think we have one of the biggest malls in Canada out in, I want to say Alberta. Right. It has like a whole indoor water park. Like it's like the mall in the world. Here in my town, we have two. One is called Jackson Square or the City Center, and it's a dirt mall. There's literally a song called "The Dirt Mall" about this place, and then they have Lime Ridge. So like malls aren't dying, but they are constantly adapting.
Okay.
Then go ahead.
I feel like a lot of the ones around here are just like everything's closing, like all your big chains have been going out, and like more recently like there's been like hospital like bigger hospitals have just been buying up spaces there for like outpatient shit and stuff, and it's just
Jesus.
like or I mean at least that's the mall, like the one smaller mall near me, but like there's still a big thriving mall, but I don't know if it's thriving. It's like still like it's the fancy mall and like the the rich suburb, but I still don't know anyone that goes there.
What's happening here a lot is something called super centers, and they are very pedestrian unfriendly, where everything is very big and far apart. So if a mall does happen to close and get demolished, they will build like a Walmart and a grocery store, and then the food court is like across the place, and there's another small strip like even farther, but there's no sidewalks, there's no place to walk.
Yeah, we got that a lot of that. I feel.
Yeah, those I actually hate those because I think if you put those in the middle of an area where it is all accessible by bike and bus and walk, and then suddenly it's like, but don't go in there. I hate those places. I think those are just not good for anybody. I think that their idea is to bring people in from outside of the community instead of rather than feed and help the community. So I actually don't like those. But these places that are actual malls where you get to go and sit in a food court and you're inside and you get to go in there and like those hopefully keep going a little bit. And strip malls are always going to be strip malls, just like one little row of buildings. With like you just go and there's your rock and roll store, your incense store, and your bulk barn.
Yeah, I think out here, like, it's diverging, right? Like the regular mall by me is a lot of it's turning to housing, right? Like kind of Keith, like you said, like hospitals or housing taking up. Those are like your average or trashy malls, and then but the ones that are doing well are like the high end ones, right? The Westfield, like premium type stuff. Yeah, those are doing pretty well.
And that was mall talk on
Mall
this week's
segment.
episode. Yeah,
3 countries explain malls.
that's pretty much. Yeah, yeah. When we get the guest on the horn, we can ask them about UK malls maybe a little bit later. Well, anything else you want to cover in general topics here before we get a little rating?
Well, just speaking of GGC, big ups to Big Matt.
Oh,
Yeah, Big
there
Matt
it is.
S, former podcast guest and host, winning one of the top males. That's pretty cool. Good work to Matt.
Yes, congratulations.
One of the
Mr.
Matts.
Matt Sesame, I believe. I'm assuming that's who we're talking about. Yes, gotta be. Yes. All right. So, relatively, old segment here we got going. We're going to do a little rating of last week's episode. We've switched this over to Massonomic iPod Touches after retiring JD Powers. Just felt that it just it was just a little bland. It needed a little spicing up. So now we do a little Massonomics iPod Touches. So, Big David, on a scale of 1 to 5, or 0 to 5, if you really didn't like it, what do you think about last week's episode of the Massonomics podcast with Big Bama Burr, Stacy Burr?
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about her. Not really a big powerlifting guy outside the knowledge that I've accrued by listening to the podcast. So, but I did enjoy the rotisserie chicken talk. So just based on that, I guess I'll give it, a mean medium mode, 5 iPod touches. Yeah,
I love it. I love a good rotisserie chicken, but I'm with Stacy. I'll just eat a whole one and just absentmindedly just sit there and just suddenly there's no chicken left on that thing. Good talk. Always down to trash Texas. Yeah, Stacey was really funny, kind of caught on right away. I enjoyed that. There was one part after she left that I think Tanner made Tommy full on laugh out loud. And for some reason that caught me off guard and I really enjoyed hearing that. So 5. It's gonna be 5. It's gonna be 5 iPod touches.
Nice. I enjoyed it also. I think I've heard a handful of podcasts that Stacy's done, so I knew a fair amount of her and kind of follow her, her Instagram trajectory and seeing what she's kind of been doing after powerlifting and dabbling in bodybuilding. Well, pretty much not dabbling, going like balls deep in bodybuilding, doing 2 shows in a year, just getting cut as shit. So that was pretty cool. But I think my favorite segment was there at the end when Tanner was basically self-incriminating himself for not remembering something, like not so he was talking about a Texas Power Bar and like the pins that hold them in place, and they're called roll pins. And like I was one of the guys in my head going, "Yeah, you dumb fucker, it's roll pins," because he literally like said it himself, but it was just hysterical. I really enjoyed that. And the funny thing is, it was the exact same night that we couldn't remember Julius Maddox's name because we were like, "Yeah, that guy that wants to bench 800 pounds."
I fucking met him.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just picturing this enormous man. I was like, why can't I think of his fucking name? So it was just funny because literally, like, it would have been like within the same half hour probably because they chose to record on our night for some reason last week, so I didn't get to listen to the live recording. You sons of bitches. So that was just funny to me that like the similarities between our 2 episodes in that manner of like us completely shitting the bed on remembering like something that we actually know. It was just funny. So for all that, I'll go ahead and break out the 5 iPod touches. Yeah, we'll give them 5.
It was exceptionally annoying because when we were talking about him, I pictured him because at the Arnold, I fucking cheersed him. Like we had a beer together, or at least a drink together. I don't know if he was drinking beer or not. And like I heard he was going to be the first to break 800, and I was like, all right, cool. So when we were talking about him, I knew him, but I said TD Smash
Yeah.
because he was also there at the Arnold with me because I spent like most of my time at the Strength Co booth, and so my brain just was like couldn't tell the difference. And then yeah, of course it was fucking Julius. He's a big dude. He's a really big dude. Also, we can't give shit to Tanner for forgetting something like roll pins and let Grayson get away with forgetting Hannah's birthday.
Oh, I've been having so much fun with that. And the fact that Hannah's in crew now, she joined the
Yeah,
Discord. Oh, and I called like that was something that because someone asked me like who do you want to see join Discord? And I was like, oh, Hannah, because she literally gave us the most in-depth fucking questionnaire response of any human in history in this podcast. So like her thoroughness needs to be appreciated. But then Grayson's lack of thoroughness of a fucking understanding a calendar and his fucking partner's birth date,
but
that
Hannah
was
said,
hysterical.
Hannah going, everybody wish Grayson a happy birthday. I want him to know because he forgot mine. And we were all just like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, that was good.
And I think I might have been the one that started that because I've been like if you've been a guest, you've noticed like I've friended pretty much anyone that I can find on Facebook that's been a guest. I've tried to friend on
What
Facebook
the
just to
fuck
kind
is
of
Facebook?
I know, right? Like no one uses Facebook, but I try to do it before they're the guest so I could do a little more deep diving research, and then it helps. So now I'm friends with like 20 crew members on Facebook that I wasn't before the podcast, and it's actually cool because like I feel that they're more loyally liking my shit on Facebook than anyone else. But that's how I know that's how I've seen a handful of birthdays. Like I wouldn't know that it was Nate's birthday a couple weeks ago or that it was Grayson's birthday last week. So then I'm able to share that on Discord, and then if I hadn't done that, we wouldn't have fucking known about Grayson's complete fuck up, and it was hysterical. We've been busting his balls about it for a week, and Hannah's in on it, and it's been amazing. It's been literally my highlight of Discord this past week, and Instagram because I've been getting in there too.
We just got to get Tanner to put like a circle around Hannah's birthday on the next dashboard calendar, right? The next spirit calendar, so no one can forget it.
That's good shit.
I actually, speaking of that, I told Tanner that on the 2024 Lift Hard Live Easy meat tee, it needs to have in memory of Brian J 1008.
Rest in peace.
Still trying to get him. He actually, so somebody sent him a message inviting him to the Lift Hard Live Easy, and
Dave, yeah.
He responded.
Nice.
So we're just waiting on that answer. I think that's going to be that's one of the greatest long running, like what do you call it? It's like not a clean joke, but like it's like a little bit of bullying, but like
Bullying adjacent.
only in a funny way.
Yeah.
Where like we're not like making fun of him for him. Like he just said something silly and we just all have latched onto it. It's honestly one of the funniest things that's happened, I think, this year.
Well, it's nice when we can put our energy towards people outside a crew and not like kind of bust balls too hard inside a crew, and it would because there's enough of that we all bust balls hard, but it's kind of cool when we can see 100 people have the same agenda rather than like everyone just kind of nitpicking at each other. It's kind of fun to like be like, oh, let's fucking amass our crew and attack someone in a gently playful way.
Yeah, it's like there's got to be like there's probably an anime scene or something. It's just like somebody does one thing and suddenly everybody's not paying attention, then they're all paying attention and they're like, oh, now that's our focus. That's kind of what happened there, and it's still great.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pay attention, I want everyone to go ahead and just pay attention here for our upcoming segment. We've got big Mr. David, one of the Davids here, has a special ad read he wants to read for us, and the floor is his.
Yeah, so this is a really special ad read because I absolutely just made this up myself. I did not rely on any type of AI learning model for this. So yeah. Are you tired of the same old lifting podcasts lacking humor and personality? Then it's time to tune into Massonomic. Starting as an audio-only podcast in 2016, Massonomics has come a long way. adding video episodes and evolving into a highly entertaining lifting community. With their trademark humor and unique perspective, hosts Tanner and Tommy guide you through the world of strength sports with their guests and interviews with industry influencers. As Massonomics grew, so did their audience, resulting in the creation of their Discord community, where loyal listeners can interact and share their love of lifting. Whether you're a seasoned lifter or just starting out, Massonomics has something for everyone. Join the lifting revolution and become part of the Massonomics community today.
Nice. Well done. Appreciate that, buddy.
100% created by me. No
Hell
AI
yeah.
was involved.
That would be, that would have definitely passed the sniff test if you turn that in as like, a homework assignment.
Yeah.
Well, is it time to get the kick all these looky lures out and get the guest on the horn, Joey?
Oh, are there any looky loos?
If anyone's asking, yeah, we have 17 people listening live right now, guys. We're about to kick them all out, and like as Tommy does, we're gonna rate them as pedophiles, and get them in trouble with fucking Zoom.
All right, that's twice today. Big David, is that you?
Me. How you doing, guys? Can we swear on this thing?
Well,
Absolutely.
you can say jizz and pedophile. Apparently,
Come them.
That's a callback to the lives that you must not. It was literally said it the other day. So.
No, I know. What am I going to not tease you? Well, just because Tommy said
I
it.
should. If I teased you as much as you teased me, your feelings would be more hurt.
My big brother said it.
Mm-hmm. No, I have no brothers in the Massonomics. I only have sisters.
All right,
going, Big David.
First question.
Yep.
First question. What brings you to Massonomics?
Brings me to Massonomics. So yeah, I had to think pretty hard about this. I think what brings me to Massonomics is the algorithm. People like to complain about the algorithm, but somehow, I don't know whether it was through like researching starting strength or trying to build my own deadlifting platform back in 2020 peak can't go anywhere. Gyms are shut, but somehow I found some Massonomics content and since that first order back in June 2020, the original lift shorts, I've listened to all the episodes and all the U episodes, as well as, being relatively active in Discord.
And having a meme account?
Having a meme account, kind of a lurker, right? Yeah, having a meme account so I can hide behind that to some degree.
Nope.
But yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore, yeah. So yeah, like if we were talking timeline, I guess like I said, like I only started lifting because of COVID. So I think because I was like researching like how to squat, how to deadlift, how to bench, right, all those things. Like I was just doing a ton of YouTube and Instagram research. And yeah, like I said, like through, I guess I found starting strength somehow. And then I don't know if it was because of I wonder if like the RIT, those guys were on the starting strength podcast, right?
Yeah,
sometime around there.
They were on Rip Toe's podcast with their, what was it, dog or piss yellow or dog shit yellow shirts, as he called them.
Yeah. So yeah, somehow I found them. Yeah, haven't looked back.
That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of was deep diving your Instagram and like 2021, you started, repping their shit pretty regularly.
Yeah. So I kind of built the Superior Garage Gym in 2020. Kind of self-taught, I guess, because I couldn't go and see anyone. Right, gyms were closed. So I had to just kind of learn shit. Confession: my first deadlift setup was using 50-pound gravel bags. Yes. Gravel, I know is a hot topic.
Yes.
I'm reformed, right? I'm going to the meetings now purely on sandbags, so you're good. You're good.
What were you using as a weight? Like you like randomly had a barbell and actually just bought the sand, but you had the gravel bags as weight, or you just had like
Well,
a big fucking stick or something.
I think I posted this on my Instagram when there was this post your COVID lifting or your first gym equipment or something. But yeah, I'd like started this program, this like uh I don't know, like boot camp CrossFit, I guess, style program in early 2020, and then when everything closed, I was having to make do at home, right? So I got like a wooden dowel and gravel bags and a whole bunch of
Nice.
stuff. Eventually, I got an actual barbell and actual plates and deadlift platform, and eventually I got a squat rack. But yeah, I was just making do those first couple months. Um, yeah, yeah, that was 2020, and then later in 2021, that's when I started Strongman. Found a local Strongman Saturday group. Uh, I've been doing some stuff at home, but I found like podcast adjacent, Massonauts adjacent content, right? Starting strength, Alan Thrall, barbell medicine, right? Uh, yeah, I did some strongman comps in 2022. Went to nationals in 2022. And now I'm broken and injured and rehabbing stuff.
No, buddy, that's not good. What anything specific or just all over pain?
Just low back stuff. Yeah, yeah, heavy yokes
I
and
feel that pain.
deadlifts. Yeah, just gotta read it back in and build it back up slowly. Yeah, yeah. So squatting and deadlifting.
It's probably just because you stopped using gravel.
Could be. Could
Yeah,
be.
it's definitely the sand that did that because my back is
Well,
fine.
worth it. I have my integrity.
All right,
Uh,
so I just get it out of the way. Where are you calling us from?
So I'm in California. I've been in California for about 7.5 years.
Mhm.
As you can tell from the silky smooth accent, that is not where I'm originally from.
Definitely
that's not
not
how
the,
Californians sound. Like
the
I've never hung out with anyone from
Yeah,
California on a podcast. I
did,
figured this was
didn't you watch the clip I posted of the Californians? Yeah, yeah.
hmm
And where's the accent from? Because obviously everybody bothers you about the accent.
yeah. I guess I should go least specific to most specific. And even I mess this up. Great Britain, no, British Isles, Great Britain, United Kingdom, England. To harken back to the par episode,
Like
right?
Daneland, like like
Yeah,
how
England,
specific are you gonna get there?
England. Yeah, Oxford to be even more specific.
That's in Oxford. So is that Southern? No, that's not Southern. You definitely don't have a
It's
Southern.
like it's like central. I guess it's like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Of at least of the southern part. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. If you were like if you're from England, you'd probably say southern. Yeah, southern accent, but maybe more Midlands.
Midland.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
Midwest.
from the Midwest.
Mid,
That sounds good.
yeah,
Midwest England.
Midwest England. Yeah,
I mean,
Midwest Europe.
California's Midwest, right? It's in the middle
Uh,
of the West.
yeah, I'm kind of southeast. Well, my southeast, western, northern California. Yep.
All
Paints
right.
a picture.
So that's just gonna get all of the British jokes out of the way that we're gonna make at some
Well, I'm
point.
sure there's gonna be many coming up in
Yeah, let's do it.
references. Well, just in general, what brought you to America, I guess. Like what was if you're 38 and you've only you said you've been here for 7 years, so you literally from birth to 30-ish you were
Mm-hmm.
not in America. So what brought you to America as a 30-year-old?
Yeah. What I mean, a work opportunity. Um, uh, the company I was working at in the UK was acquired by an American company. Yeah, there was an opportunity, and this was pre kids, pre marriage actually. So yeah, me and my wife said, if we don't do this now and we have kids, in a couple of years, we're never going to do it right once we have kids. So let's take this opportunity. Yeah.
Gotcha. So your wife and your wife are both British, and then your kids are now American citizens, or are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they were born here. I guess they're
Oh,
dual citizens. They have two
gotcha.
passports, but yeah, they're
And
American.
what are their accents like?
Uh, Interesting because until they go to school, they're pretty, they basically share our accent, right? They're
Okay. Yeah.
mostly
So
interacting with
so
us.
they're under 5 then, I guess it sounds like. Then
Yeah, my oldest is 5.
okay.
So when she started going to school, even a little bit preschool, she would pick up some hard R's and some Americanisms, I guess. But then mostly when she's around us, she kind of switches back, right? Kids are
Hmm.
adaptable. They switch back and forth. They're like sponges, right? They're just absorbing what's around them. So yeah, they're pretty adaptable. But yeah, she uh definitely her because she's in school 5 days a week. She's sounding a lot more American than she used to. Yeah,
But is she spelling everything wrong like Americans do?
she is, and I'm resigned even to
Ah,
spelling things wrong. My spell check is in American English.
fuck. So was mine. It's the worst. I've had to train it.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
like my
like, it's
U's, but
yeah. You
I've
sure
given
you want
up.
to put a U in color? And shut up, Siri. Of course I do.
Yep.
Sorry, we're just checking notes here. There's a lot of this that happens. Like we just kind of just like both of us zone out for a second.
It's like nothing resonates into the next one. So being here for 7 years, if you guys you it's just you, your wife, and your kids. Then, if you, I mean, so no family over here yet. So that's got to be tough. So when you guys like want to go home for the holidays, can you even like justify going once a year, or is that kind of like every couple years you kind of make the flight home? That's got to be like literal thousands and thousands of dollars to take a family across the ocean, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, it feels like it used to be manageable, and we used to pre-COVID we went back probably 2 times a year, right? Like a summer and a winter trip. But I guess with everything going on, the flight prices have definitely gone up. That's definitely true. So yeah, definitely reining it back to once a year now. Yeah, yeah, once a year is enough. Yeah,
And
it's tough with kids.
and you
I
couldn't
can
have got
imagine.
farther than California,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Like
that's true.
Florida might have made sense. Like it's a bit of a lighter, smaller flight, but no, we're gonna go.
Yeah,
How
11
exactly
hour.
far away can we get before flying over the top of the world makes more sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. 11 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that.
It's a long way. Makes the flight to Western Northeast South Dakota seem short by comparison. So silver lining.
Nice. So I got a random question here. So what's your take on The Office versus the British Office?
Oh, do I have my druthers?
Yeah, how
We,
about that? I
we
mean,
could
this
go.
isn't
We could go pretty late.
ah.
So,
So you have like 2 minute cap.
2 minute cap. Okay. Okay. So, you probably noticed in the Discord, I'll try and shoehorn a US office reference in anytime I can. I think it must be a David thing because Big Other David does exactly the same thing. He has some good office references.
I'm still not sure if there's more than one David. I'm honestly not, I have not confirmed there's more than one David.
Yeah, that would be interesting if I showed up again, right? Next on the next
Yes,
David
yeah,
episode.
yeah. We do have another David scheduled in a couple weeks. I'm curious if it's
Yeah,
just if it's one of your burner accounts. I'd be so annoyed, but I'll
never
give
seen
you
us both in the
kudos.
same room, right? Same time. Uh, yeah. So when the British office came out, and I was I like 15? I used to work in like a basically like a Menards equivalent. It sounds like. And me and a couple of others would like quote that thing all the time, right? Pre-internet, pre-memes. All you do is quote stuff to your friends from memory. So I used to love that. And when the US office first came out, I did not like it, right? Like I said, it's not as good. It's like I don't know, a dumbing down of the British version, which was really short, right? It had six episodes, and then two Christmas specials, I think. So you could binge that thing in like 6 30-minute episodes, right? So you could binge that thing in a day easy. Um, but it was kind of like groundbreaking, I guess, right? That kind of mockumentary style was not definitely not the first to do it, but it did it really well. But then when not even when I moved to the US, but certainly when I started working a lot over here, traveling to work over here, I started watching it more, and I got the concepts and some of the references that I didn't get before. And yeah, now I like it. But they're very different shows, right? Like one is really short, and maybe the British Office is kind of really short and kind of like critically good. But if I'm going to put something on in the background and watch it over and over, right, I'm gonna 200 episodes of the US Office. Yeah, they're great, but they're very different. Very different.
I've seen actually a play-by-play of the first episodes of each, and those were almost the same.
Yeah, I think that's the mistake that a lot of people make, right? That first season of the US Office is they tried to do like a shot-for-shot remake of the British one, and it wasn't. It didn't translate. As soon as they started making it into its own thing and making the characters into their own things instead of a copy, then it got better. So yeah, season 1, wasn't good. Season 2 and 3 were probably the best, and then it tails off, right? The quality, especially after Steve Carell left.
Yeah, and then
what's your? I know you're not a big Will Ferrell guy, right, Keith? But what about Steve Carell? Over under.
Give me Ricky Gervais over Steve Carell 100% of the time, every day, all day.
What?
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Name 3 shows Ricky Gervais has been in.
I could name fucking 2 that Steve Carell's been in. So I can name 2 that I could. So Steve Carell or fucking Ricky Gervais, the really depressing one that's on Netflix. I can't think of what the fuck's the name of it. Where his wife died. The fuck is the name of that? I'm up to date on it. I just can't think of the name of it. But
I know what you're talking about. Something about life. Something like
Afterlife.
Yeah.
Afterlife.
Yeah, I think it is Afterlife. Afterlife. That's a fucking you'll laugh and cry. Just honestly, it's just like last week's episode. You fucking laugh, you cry, you laugh.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good show.
I don't like Steve Carell. Honestly, I do not like Michael Scott as a character. He's the worst part of the show, and that's going to get me roasted, and I'll be the hot take of the night. But he is the worst part of the fucking show, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll have your back on that one. Actually, I just don't watch The Office. It's too much cringe humor, and I'm not into that kind of. Well, I don't still like the mockumentary thing in general. I've just never really enjoyed. Like when they're interviewing them off to the side, like why? What is this documentary for? I just never understood it. Like at least Spinal Tap made sense because it's like we're making a movie about our band. But then suddenly it's like, no, we are suddenly interviewing all of these weirdos in Scranton and like they're important people. And we're going to do it for like 9 fucking seasons. And there's just a limit to my suspension of disbelief of watching that kind of comedy. But again, yeah, me and Keith are the bad guys because we say things like that. I don't get it. I understand why other people get it. Because Parks and Rec can make me laugh.
I love Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is so superior to The Office.
Aspects of that will make me laugh, but The Office, the cold open will make me laugh, and then I won't laugh again for the entire episode.
Yeah, I can see that perspective. I think I'm more of a nose breath guy, right? Like I like the cringe, the cringe humor. Like a little nose breath rather than a full on, lol, haha.
Oh.
But I can see that. I can see that perspective.
When it comes to like Shoresy and Letterkenny, like I will full on belly laugh. I'll have to pause it because I'm laughing so hard. That's funny quality. Fuck, even Super Troopers gets me like that sometimes. Still.
Yeah, I think the mockumentary style is like it's like a reaction to the laughter track sitcom traditional style, right? The Friends and the
3 camera bullshit.
Yeah, like the things that were popular in the late 90s or even much before, right? So it's just like a rebellion, right, against the status quo, I guess, of comedies, right? You get those things that the challenge the status quo, right? Yeah, I like them. I like Borat and maybe Bruno to a lesser extent. But yeah,
good example.
Well, speaking of Bruno, I do want to give a quick update. We had planned to have Big Matt on for a special little segment. You and him were going to talk about strongman. I wanted to give him a little platform because I know you guys are both big
Hmm.
strongman buffs. But once he basically once he kind of realized where you were from, he said that he had to go ahead and just decline just because your heritage specifically, and he really wanted me to sell that to you. So sorry, he will not be joining us tonight.
He was worried you were going to tax his tea for some reason. In 2023, that's still a thing he's worried about.
Yeah, yeah, we love to tax. We love to tax. I'm glad you associate him with Bruno and not Borat. So that's good. I think he's going to enjoy that.
I've never seen it either, so I don't know. I don't like. No, those, do you guys do I look like after listening to the way I talk about movies? Those seem like movies I would watch. They are not. But
They are not.
I'm thinking of like the trailers. Isn't Bruno the one that came afterwards? I don't know. What's the
Bruno
difference in the
came
two
after.
characters?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's a
I
big difference in the
I know
two
the Borat
characters.
character. He's just the douche, but
There's
like,
there's full frontal male nudity in both. So
okay.
so
Well, I mean,
that's good.
after staying at the same hotel with Matt, I already got that. I don't need that again.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You should watch them both and give us your verdict.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm gonna guess. I'd say I'd probably give it a 3 and a 4 at best. So I
Hmm.
think I'll pass. I think I'm gonna pass.
That comment fucking broke me. I had to mute my microphone. I was laughing so hard. I think I woke the kids up. Oh, that's good stuff. Because he tries so hard to be Borat, and then to just pull out that. I'm glad you associated him with Bruno, which is the gayest character in the world.
Hmm.
Oh, so it was a unbeknownst chirp. That makes me even happier.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was an indirect.
Yeah, and Dave caught it. Dave caught it and slightly just took the shank and broke the blade off.
That's good stuff. That makes me happy. I have been the last couple of days I've been trying to respond to anything he says with the zebra emoji just because his pants, and I don't know if he enjoys that or not, but I'm hoping it's supposed to be a dig, but if it's not coming off as a dig, it's not really worth it. But I don't know.
Zebra or zebra, Joey? Can we
interestingly, it's zebra, but sometimes I'll say zebra to mess with people.
Huh. Okay. I'm outnumbered in that regard then.
Yeah, I do. I think we've already established. I just say things weird just to mess with humans, right? Like zebra is one of those ones where I'll just say it, and my son will go, like, "Why? Like it's zebra," and I'm like, "No, it's zebra."
Yeah, I tried not to use too much of the British English with my kids, so that they're not like what was that character in South Park, the British kid that gets bullied, like Pip or something? You remember that? So yeah, so they're not like the British kid in the American school that's getting bullied for the way they talk because they say zebra and zed and stuff. So yeah,
I guess, but here in Canada, no, it's still the same. Half the Canadians want to be Americans here anyway. So okay, this is a fun one. So you were rock climbing in Corsica.
Oof.
And I think this is a Paul Floss kind of story, is it?
Floss story, maybe. That was like, I don't know, 2010. I'm pretty far back. It's probably when I was most active on Facebook, at least. Yeah, so prior to getting to strongman and moving rocks relative to myself, I moved myself relative to rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's all about perspective. So yeah, I was into rock climbing kind of in my teens and even late 20s. Yeah, I did some fun trips, memorable trips, but yeah, not in the last that was that 13 years ago and probably 60 pounds ago. Yeah, until well, interestingly, until I moved to the US, I was pretty lean. I was pretty light. Something about moving to the US made me gain weight. I don't know.
Shock.
Yeah.
But most specifically, it says to ask you about your pooping story that happened while you were rock climbing in Corsica. And then you have a ton of fun pooping stories.
Yes.
And that we haven't had enough of these since Tyler left.
I I had three people to ask me to ask about your pooping stories,
Oh
legitimately,
man.
or
So
maybe two,
I know
multiples.
I know the Corsica one. I can't think of any others, but I'll do the Corsica one and see if something flashes back.
Try and like stop short of gag worthy.
It's not gag worthy.
All right.
I mean, it's gag worthy for me, but yeah, it's not disgusting. Corsica is like an island off of France, right? So we go to this island, right? It's not small island, right? But not a lot of people around. We get up really early to get to this really cool rock climbing location, right? We have to drive there. I don't know, 6 a.m. or something. Um, we start walking up to the start of the rock climb, right? Which is maybe, I don't know, it takes us 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right? It's not a short walk. Still early in the morning, no one around, haven't seen anyone all day. And we get to the base of the rock and we're like ready to start, right? We go like year out and I like, first thing in the morning, I've had some coffee. I got to poop, right? But we're on the side of this mountain and it's really just like a fire road, right? There's no sides, right? It's either rock on one side or a sheer drop on the other side. And it's just a fire road going up the mountain. So I think, where am I going to poop? So I like walk 100 yards up the way, still haven't seen anyone. And there's just nowhere to poop, right? There's like a foot of grass either side of this fire road. Like, haven't seen anyone, okay, I'm just gonna squat down, walk away from my group and find a piece of grass to poop in. I squat down, you know, things are starting, things are moving. And of course then, there's large group of hikers come by, probably German. Let's say they're German for the sake of the story. And I'm mid poop, right? There's no going back. I can't suck that thing back up inside and pretend I was just, looking at grass or something. I just got to keep pooping, right? And there's nowhere to hide. So yeah, this group of, I don't know, I forget, I can embellish, right? So let's say it was 30 people. I don't know. It's a long time ago. But I'm just making eye contact with them whilst
Absolutely.
pooping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nowhere to hide. What can I do?
Just yell Shizer and hope they
Yep.
run faster.
Yeah. Once you started, there's not really any stopping midstream, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
That's my Corsica poop story.
and they just proceeded to walk by you and kind of cover
They
your
just, I
eyes, or
mean,
they bust your balls, or
yeah, no, they
Yeah.
just dirty looks. I mean, if they were German, they probably used to that kind of thing, right? Like, that's a big thing.
Just everybody poops, relax.
no,
Even my
Yeah.
kids know that.
I was waiting
Yeah.
for him to say that he like was like so close to the edge that he shit off the edge and like I fell.
That's
off
what I
someone
was
underneath
hoping
or
happened.
something.
Yeah.
I was like, that would
No,
be great.
And he's like, I wanted
no,
to hide, so I held myself over the edge and painted
no.
the side
It's
of the mountain.
just not seeing anyone the whole time. Soon as things start moving, right? That's when a ton of people show up. And yeah, just me making contact and just having nowhere to go, eye contact, and just keep going.
Oh, that
Was fun time.
yeah, that was gross. I'm glad we heard that.
I enjoyed it. I'm glad your friend and your wife both wanted us to know that specifically.
Hmm.
But one of them, I can't remember, it was your wife or your friend specifically said like multiple poo stories. So that is hysterical that your friends or your friends or your partners see that you have multiple poo stories and you're just drawing a blank. So I'm very curious. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is kind of amusing.
Now you have to ask them about your poop
Yeah,
stories, which is not
exactly.
awkward at all.
I did. I was scouring your Facebook a little bit, and I saw some pictures from your from your mountain climbing trip. Thankfully, you didn't post yourself shitting, but you did post yourself. Actually, no, sorry, this was after one of your bike rides where you took a big fucking dive, and you're like one of your pictures is literally just like your ass just completely bruised up. That had to hurt from what I saw. That's not. I would not want to bruise there.
Yeah, that was in my road cycling, like triathlon era, I guess. That was when was that? That was probably after rock climbing. Yeah. So yeah, I used to run and reluctantly swim and bike a lot. And that specific time, I remember it was January, so it was January in the UK, and I went around this corner, and there was some ice on the corner, probably some diesel or something, right?
Sure wasn't shit.
It could have been shit. And yeah, just wiped out. Had some road rash on the butt, and I guess I was young enough to just post that to Facebook, and
Yes,
haven't
still there.
removed it yet.
It is still there. Like 17 years later, I believe, whatever it was.
There we go.
2008 or something. Speaking of speaking of spinning out, as someone from the UK, I'm just gonna is UK if I just say UK, is that proper, or should I say?
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's fine.
as someone from UK, like in America, there's some different takes on what they call, taking your car and driving in a circle really really fast and spinning the tires. I call it a donut. Tanner calls it whipping a shitty. I think it's more of a Midwest thing they call it whipping shitties, because no one that I know and no one that I've ever grown up with or lived around has even heard of whipping a shitty. Give me your take on whipping shitties, donuts, or what do you guys call them over there where you're from, where you work?
Yeah, it's donuts. I've never
Yeah.
heard of whipping shitties. I mean, I guess maybe you guys spell donut DONUT, right? Like we spell it DOUGHNUT, right? Add all those extra letters in for no reason. So yeah, that's the only difference. Yeah, it's donuts. I've never heard of whipping shitties before
Not until the
podcast.
Same, and but they seem to think it's a very like that. I mean, I think I said it once in a conversation now, like just to see if I could catch anyone, to see if anyone, and they were like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's something I heard someone say, but yeah, I meant donut." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I did. Yes, I know what you mean." So it's good to know. Good to know. So triathlons, biking, is there anything you kind of got into and like didn't go all in on, like any of your like athletic hobbies, anything you kind of dabbled with and just like, yeah, I did this for a month, it sucked, I'm done. Because it seems like you've kind of went pretty hard on everything you've done.
Yeah, I guess I'm not very good at everything I've done, but yeah, you're right. I kind of gone hard. Like if I get into something, me and my friend joke, like if I get into something, like I buy all the equipment, right? Like I buy all the shit. Once I've got everything, I stop doing it, right? Like I buy a nice bike, I get all the stuff, right? And then once I got all the stuff, I'm like, actually, I'm going to try something else.
Yeah, well, we did it.
Yeah,
got everything we needed.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that with lifting and strongman, and maybe even powerlifting one day. But yeah, we're only about 3 years in, so still time to change again.
How was moving as far as like the logistics of, I mean, so I guess you were 30, you were married, but you didn't have kids, but you had to have, did you guys have a house or were you renting? Like how much shit did you bring over here and how much shit did you just have to let go of and like what did you have to rebuy? Like I couldn't imagine moving that far away and being like, I have to fly or fucking like barge or put on a ship and do a shipping container if I want any of this shit to come with me.
Yeah, that was like part of the reason why we did it, right? We took the opportunity when we could, when we were 30, because we had a house, we owned a house, but we didn't have a ton of stuff that we were attached to. So we came over here with I think like six suitcases, right? We got extra baggage, but that was it, right? It was just clothes, and that was pretty it. Yeah, we stored a lot of stuff, and eventually we sold the house when we bought a house here in California. So yeah, in terms of stuff, we started again. Yeah, complete redo. Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of nice. Like, cause I have so much. Like, I moved when I was. I think I moved when I was like. I basically, yeah. We moved. I moved. I lived in an apartment for a few years, and then we moved. We've been here for like 12 years. So like, I still have shit. I still have a couple things in boxes that I don't think I've ever like touched. But like, it's like a memorabilia box that like my mom gave me fucking when I moved out of the house, and it's like I can't throw any of that away, or I mean I can throw some of it away, but like I like just random shit like that. That like I wish I could get rid of this, but it's like memories and all that. But
stuff like that is still in England with various family members have a box or two, like some crap you don't actually need, but you also can't get rid of for whatever reason.
I think everyone's got some of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to get rid of stuff. I like to purge.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
I just toss everything. My wife hates it. If it's been on the floor for more than 2 days, it's garbage.
Yeah,
That's my
things
rule.
you won't end up owning you, right?
Yep. If you can step over it more than a couple times, then it must not be important. I'm throwing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually the worst. She hates it so much. I was like, "What's
Yep.
that? Your wallet? Pick it up or I'm throwing it." Like I'm such a that's how I am. Every time we move to, I just toss so much shit. It's how you got to be.
Well, speaking of things you no longer have, what's one thing that you wish you could have had? What's the one piece of Macedonian merch that you didn't get a chance to buy?
Ooh, that's a good one. I didn't think about this one.
Yeah, it's the first time we've ever asked it. We especially came up with for it for one of the Davids.
Yeah. I guess for completeness, lift shorts too, right? I have lift shorts one, have blue lift shorts, I have deadlifter shorts, I have lift shorts three. I even have a special set of lift shorts three, one of the early samples that I got for Tenor sent me. But yeah, no lift shorts two.
Who was that? What was his name? No, just the way you said it. I'm
Oh,
curious if I heard it.
one of the
Did you say
hosts.
tenor? No. Like,
Yeah.
well, that's a
Oh,
bit we've kind of let go almost. Did you say tenor? Like, was it? Did I hear that right? Or was I
I
just
said
miss?
tenor,
Oh, okay, I
but
could have sworn
now I'm overly pronouncing it. I'm overthinking it. So
I could have now. Okay, so I know UK and fucking Ireland are not the same locations, but
Oh, here we
is
go.
Tanner is Tanner a name over there? Because
That was a good face. That was a
had never
good
fucking heard
face.
of it.
no. Tenor, well, Tenor's not a name. Or it wasn't a name for me growing up.
That is a fucking that's
Tanner's
very
not a
real.
name.
Tanner's not a name. Yep.
No,
That's gonna
no,
be a story.
no. Maybe it is now. Like, I don't know. Maybe in 2023, people are naming their kids all sorts of crazy stuff. But yeah, Tenor's not a name in the UK,
Good to
to my
know.
Actually,
knowledge.
it's funny. I saw again this random TikTok, and I meant to send it to the guys, and it was just like the whitest names you've ever heard. And the one guy was like Tanner, and he's like, but every Tanner I've ever met is fucking jacked. Like you've never met a small Tanner. They're all giant buff dudes. And then I was like, I've only ever met two. And yeah. Like yeah.
I can't
Um
think of another one of that. Yeah.
so like it is in the notes here. And you've already kind of brought it up. The pronunciation differences.
Oh,
What are some of your favorites? Because I know I've seen some of your memes where you know kind of poke at us here. What are some of your favorites? The differences between how you, or Keith would say things.
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I mask this, but garage gym. In England, at least where I'm from, we'd say
Yeah,
garage
yeah,
gyms.
that's way fucking out there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like IDGE or something, right?
garage.
Garage.
It's like porridge.
Yeah, exactly. Parage.
No, and that makes sense because garage. There's a movie up here. I don't know if you probably haven't seen it. It's called Good Cop, Bon Cop, and the one French guy he says like the word tattoo. It has three T's, one A, and two O's, but we in like English for some reason focus on the A. It's a
Right.
tattoo. And so he's like he's constantly mocking them. They're like, oh yeah, I guess it's this person tattoo because it's tattoo. Like there's so many other letters in it. So I can see how garage would make sense. Cause like, why are you focusing on that one last A fucking G? And there's so many other more prominent letters in there. That makes sense to me. Is there any other ones?
Pronunciation. Yeah, I feel like I've learned to say it wrong so much that I've lost my identity. Uh, yeah, I can't think of any off the top. That's the big one, right? That's the Massonomics adjacent one, right?
Oh, that's funny,
Garage
is
gym
because
versus.
somebody told me to bring that up too. Somebody said to make sure we bring up your pronunciation in UK versus US.
Hmm.
No, that's fine. Cerakote.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good one.
never heard that before. Like saw it written down a lot of times, and I thought Sarakote or something. Yeah, but yeah, makes more sense when you actually think about it. How most people say it.
It's funny that we've covered that one a lot. So I think I get an F for podcast preparation because I did not know that you ran that meme account somehow, even though the profile picture is your other profile picture. Like, God damn it.
Yes.
How did I fucking
Uh-huh.
miss
Hey,
that? Like,
hey, I did
here I
something.
am fucking spending like hours putting this shit together and like scrolling through your goddamn Facebook and Instagram where you only have like 20
Uh-huh.
posts, but you literally have like 20 Instagram posts. So there's like I couldn't get anything from it. And then you have this fucking meme account that I didn't piece together as you fuck. So that
Yeah,
makes
that
me feel like an
thing. Yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say like
I dropped the ball on that one.
that thing rips us apart all the time. I found out who
Oh
that
no,
was
it's
as
great.
soon as I could.
I interact with it. Yeah, that's on me. Man, there's so many goddamn meme accounts and there's so many goddamn people that have like Instagrams that aren't their names, and I'm trying to keep track of everybody. And it's like, especially with the influx this last couple of weeks with people trying to get on the live hard, live easy. There's just been like, that's why I put that up on Instagram too. I was like, if your crew, like, let me know. Like, I don't if we only have one or two mutuals, I'm probably not going to follow you back. Like, especially if it's
Mhm.
like one specific person, because you're just like
Right.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to follow back like a previous guest, like friend that gave me information. Because then I was like, I don't know. I don't want to follow just crew specifically. So yeah, there's probably some crew out there that follow us, and I didn't get a chance to follow them back because I just didn't have enough mutuals. So if that's you, let
Mm-hmm.
me know. Let me know.
It is really weird and because Dave's on it, I guess you've already heard me talk about it. It's weird to be a meme. It's kind of genuinely weird to open Instagram, get a tag, and see your face.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
It
I
makes me
know it
so
is.
happy.
It's hilarious. But it's like I think Morgan said to me the other day, she's like, "Is that where you thought you would end up when you like kind of joined Massonomics?" I was like, "No, not at all." But like, it's great. It's fun. I'm glad people are paying attention because like we do this for the whole crew, right? So it is really fun. But you are responsible for some of that. The fuck
The
am I
fun.
looking at now?
The I always get a kick out of it. It's like the most random shit that people like pick up on, and like the threads that they pull of like one offhanded thing you say, and I'm like, oh, that was
Yeah.
kind of funny, but I don't even remember saying that. Like, there's been ones that I'm like, I really got to remember. Like, what's that
It's
referencing?
like
Like, oh,
a compulsion, right? Like you hear something, it triggers this thought, this would be a great meme, and like most of the time I have to do it like immediately. Right. I
mm-hmm.
can't even like make a note of it and do it later because it won't be as funny. I have to make that meme immediately.
I've done that on this
Uh,
podcast.
Scratch an itch. Yeah. Right.
Like I've heard something and been like, just everybody shut up, I'm making something. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. It's really hard. You just gotta get it out. Scratch that itch.
Yeah, I make like I don't know a couple memes a week at most, and I don't know how some guys like blowing out a couple a day. That's a bit much for me. I'm too busy. too
so
I'm too
what
tired.
so like podcast memes are one thing, gym memes are easy. Here's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Get CapCut, find whatever little template is working, and then just make the same meme, but it's like change the wording slightly. And that's just what I've noticed. I almost made a meme about it last week, but it's just like whenever a trending template is working, here's all of the gym memes coming to say the same thing in slightly different words.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or just copy Massonomics.
Yeah. It's a bit like podcasts, I guess, right? Like it's easy to do it when you have an idea, right? I've been trying to do one every day, and that's really hard, right? Like
Yeah.
it's hard to be consistent. Like you guys doing it every week, and the guys, much further ahead, right? Actually having the motivation and couple episodes, yeah,
I mean, we're on episode 82. We're fucking right there. We're right behind them.
yeah,
We
uh,
we don't have the much. We don't have as much money behind us as they do. So
no,
we're doing our best with our little budget.
I don't even
not that
post on
big,
Instagram once a week. I saw that the other day. I said to
right?
Morgan, I was like, I haven't posted in a week and a half. How do I still have any followers? Like, I don't understand. And that's when I posted the rock lift thing. But like to do once or twice a day like Tanner does, or once a day like you do, who's got the time? I don't.
I got 4 accounts. It sucks.
You got one and maybe 2.5 accounts.
True. I got a couple. I got 3.5 maybe.
I do like how the transition of me running unpaid and underrated to you fully running it and me never looking at it.
You're allowed to help, buddy. Like, feel free to tag, jump back in at any
Oh,
point.
I know, but every time I do, I'm just like, no shit, he's gonna want to see that message. I don't want to leave it
The
on
message
red.
is hard. Like, I mean, that's what's tricky. It's like what almost like I almost like one person almost needs to do the messaging, and then the other like just get on and post stories and like reels and post. But like doing the messaging is tricky because I coordinate. I do the I schedule a lot of shit through that. So if
I
you
know.
see it and then it goes unseen to me, that's why I was initially only
That's what I'm
scheduling for my
nervous about.
personal. Yeah, I mean, I can go back to scheduling solely for my personal, and if you wanted to like tag jump back in because I got nothing but fucking yes, share
Yeah.
the duties more. I would be
For the
down with
next
that.
for the next 2 weeks, no.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I mean,
working 10-hour shifts staring at a computer screen, not my phone. But yeah, going further.
I'm just gonna start reposting, David's memes and
Do it.
slightly changing them.
He's one of our unpaid.
Make
He's
them a
one of
little
our
bit.
unpaid interns.
Are my now? I guess when I just post a picture of like the guest with the host and like put our faces in, people still find that funny. Like I'm gonna keep doing it, like no matter what if they do or not. But like, is it old yet? Like I don't know what else I can do. Like
Jen's was really funny.
it's relevant. Oh yeah, because like I got yeah. That's maybe that's what I'll do. I might kind of like get away. I mean, it's cool when I can like tag the sister podcast in a little bit too, but getting like deep dive in Jen's Facebook, or actually it was Jen's husband's Facebook because I had to message. It was funny. Jen, like the 3 or 4 people she had me message was all Facebook Messenger. It was actually I think the first time I talked to someone on Facebook Messenger for the podcast, and it was like everyone. And then like I was able to link to her husband's profile. And I was like, all right, let's find pictures of Jen in like 2011. It was like and I made an initial one that I shared just with Joey and Nate and I's group chat. And then I shared it with Jen, and I was like, "Can I post this?" And she was like, "I hate how I look in that." And then like she found me a different one, and then I made it again, and the one she found was actually better because it was just like it was just the face that the body that I put my face on was like more like obvious a child. It was just really funny. I really enjoyed that stuff.
So for the next one, just put David's face on Jen's face in that same photo and repost
that would be
that.
Easy. Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Yeah, but it's David, like a layer of funny. Like to me, that would be
David can do that for me, and then I'll repost it. I like that.
So, have you guys noticed that Ryan's here?
I don't have Zoom. I only have our screens up. I have to like go really deep dive. Let's get him on. Let's see
one
of the Ryans has been here listening for like.
I want to ask how his injuries are going.
I don't know. He's been here for like half an hour of this.
Yeah, I'm curious if he just like opens it up and like because usually right now because I was talking to him, if he was paying attention, he would text something. The fact that he hasn't texted something, I want to say it's idle or it's like it'd be funny if like the phone's across the room and he's listening to it in his headphones and he can't get to it and he's like he's running over to his phone and he actually falls and hurts himself
or he's pooping.
Yeah,
he's probably cleaning up his garage, right? It's very clean.
Jesus,
he fucking better be.
That gave me anxiety. Those pictures, like it made me fucking like want to hurl. I was like, oh my god, that's a gym. Get this shit out of there. What the fuck? Like, stop.
So, use it. David, your deadlift platform, gym or so garage or basement?
Garage. Yeah, garage? No basements. Yeah.
Yeah, he got that in the beginning as a little dig at me, that fucker. But do you guys in California? Is basements even a thing though? Like, I don't do.
No.
Yeah, so it's moot at that point, It's a non-starter. You gotta have what you gotta have.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I've been to California and that never occurred to me.
There's a lot of I have friends in the Midwest that like don't have basements. Like they basically like, do you mean like a tornado shelter? And I'm like, no, like a basement. And they're like, well, I have like this little 4-foot thing, but it's not like a real. I can't do anything with it. Okay, no, not that. Like a literal basement. It's they're just not common in a lot of places. It's just strange to me because I've never not had a base. I've never lived in a house without a basement like in my entire life. So
yeah, even in the UK they're not common, right? Some era, I guess, have them or some cities, but yeah, not widespread.
Okay, so you have your home gym, and how many
Hmm.
memberships do you have to other gyms?
How many memberships do I have to other gyms? Yeah, good question. Uh,
Stop keeping track. Shut up.
Do
yeah.
you have enough? Do you have
Well,
enough hands and toes?
I guess
We hear it's a lot.
three, three
Mm,
other gyms. So, a real gym, I guess, a commercial gym for the times that the real gym is closed, or
Mhm,
like I'm doing right now, right, using a lot of machines, because working around rehab stuff. So
mhm,
that's two real gyms. And then the third membership isn't really a gym membership. It's the Strongman, like Strongman Saturday, membership. So
mhm.
on Saturday, I go down it is a gym, but we do specific, Strongman things. It's the Strongman Club out here in Haywood. So that's how I found Strongman. Again, like through some weird quirk of the algorithm, I started seeing some posts, found out there was, uh, a local group doing stuff, and that you didn't have to be 400 pounds to do strongman, which was surprising. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I do that, most Saturdays, at least when I'm not super injured.
was the first time you touched a barbell on American soil?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it was, yeah. At least in terms of like what you would consider a barbell.
Yeah.
Like I remember like growing up really wanting like the York, you know, concrete filled
Hmm.
plastic weight set for
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Christmas or
I have a ton.
something.
I have a ton of those actually in the basement right now.
Yeah, the little screw lock ones. But yeah, in terms of
I
what
think
you
we
would
all grew
call a
up with those. Yeah.
barbell, yeah, yeah, I like did stuff like, played rugby and stuff growing up, and we never did any weight training, right? Like it was like you have to be at least 18 to go to the gym, right? So yeah, never did anything till I was, mid 30s. Yeah, 35.
Sorry,
Okay.
the UK has age limits on the gym.
And that's a pretty common thing in a lot of places.
Yeah, just like liability stuff, I guess.
That makes perfect sense, but it never occurred to me to think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't go to the gym if you're like 12. I mean, I think you can like at the like I think a lot of places are even like 14 or 15, but only with a parent, and then
Yeah.
maybe 16 to 18, maybe alone, but I don't even think. And
right.
that could be subject to like, you know, you got Tanner over there letting like 50, like 16-year-olds drive from like an hour away before football practice to come train, which is actually pretty cool. I remember him mentioning that either on one of I think he mentioned that on one of the podcasts of like one of the local high school kids was literally driving like 45 minutes because it was the only like place he could really get a good workout in before like
Hmm.
actually going to school. I got one that wasn't really brought up, and I'm curious. So have you assimilated at all to be an American football fan, or are you still like diehard soccer guy from?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely not a soccer guy. I
Okay.
was for a really short period growing up. 1996. I have a lot of trivia knowledge from 1996. Had one of those, those like sticker books. You collected the stickers, right? In
Gotcha.
1996. So I have a lot of 1996 soccer trivia knowledge, but after that, it was all rugby. I was into. So yeah, American football is kind of, it's rugby adjacent, right? Some of the same
Yeah.
concept, at least much more adjacent than soccer. So yeah, yeah, I like, American football. I was kind of, following the Raiders because that's Oakland Raiders was the closest geographically
Not
to
anymore.
where I'm living. Not anymore. So I still kind of follow the Raiders a little bit, but yeah, the 49ers are, the geographical team that I would root for.
So do you like sit down and watch rugby matches now? Like, is that like a pastime, or is that even really a thing? Like, are there like live? Are there like aired rugby games?
There's a few rugby games. So the Rugby World Cup just finished a couple weeks ago. That was on NBC and Peacock. They'd show those games, but it was in France, so they were, 6 a.m. or,
Hmm.
early games. You can get a few club games here, but yeah, not a ton. Not easy to watch it.
Gotcha. All right.
What about cricket?
Cricket, I played cricket. I don't really like watching cricket, right? Cricket's like baseball. It
Mhm.
uh, takes too long. It's kind of boring.
My cricket knowledge is about up there with Tanner's baseball knowledge based on last week.
Yeah. But if you even if you go to a cricket game or watch on TV, you're really going to drink, and then there's also cricket going on,
Yeah.
right? I feel like that's baseball, right? You go there, you're drinking and you're eating, and there's also, something to kind of keep you entertained at the same time. Yeah, the sport's secondary to the eating and drinking.
No, I can't wait to be asked what cricket is now in the Discord because I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think it isn't cricket honestly like one of like the top two or three like played or like and like in the entire world it is like the most popular sport in the world or like top like two or three. I might be
Yeah,
way off. I thought
I,
I
yeah,
guess like
it's huge in
it's really big in India,
India
isn't it?
and
Yeah.
Pakistan and Australia and all the colonies, I guess, or some of the colonies, as we might call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Are we the bad guys?
Yeah,
Right?
with
That meme,
that.
like, are we the baddies? Yeah. So yeah. You're probably right. Right. I think soccer is probably number one in terms of
oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
participation.
So pronunciation question. Premier, Premier, Premier.
Premier League soccer.
Premier
Well,
League, yep.
actually, Premier League football would
Yep.
be what I
And
should
Premier League
actually say.
cricket. I've heard that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yep.
it's funny because I would say Premier unless I'm talking about football or cricket. Then I'll say Premier.
Huh. Right. Because you're more likely to hear it in British English, right? Like
Yep.
that's what you would. Yeah. Makes sense. Yep.
You want to dive into some questions from the crew? I think we've covered a fair amount of
Yes.
everything.
We
Like
have
I had
some
a
great
decent
ones.
amount from your wife and your buddy, and some of the stuff that
Okay.
you came up with. But we got 5 or 6 here from the crew. We can probably dabble with.
And they're all going to be based on you being British.
Most
Of course.
Okay. So from Tanner, beans and toast. Why?
So this is audio only podcast for now, so you can't see the delicious beans on toast behind me.
It is not delicious. I can tell I want everybody to watch, everybody to listen to me right now. It does not look delicious. It probably is though. That's the thing. It's
sure.
actually probably tastes pretty
as long as
fucking
it's not,
great, but it does not look good. It honestly does not. But
as
go
long as
ahead
it's
with the
not
rest of
sourdough
what you're
bread.
saying. What? The bread is your problem there?
Well, because like I like beans and I like cheese, but the bread has to be like the bread has to almost be like a non-flavor. I don't know what is the bread typically used, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, the bread's like it's like a pizza, right? You got the bread base, you got the tomato sauce based topping, and then you got a ton of cheese on top.
Would you
I think I could
Pizza
fuck with
adjacent.
some beans and toast, honestly.
would you add
And
Franks?
you could, yeah. That's I
Like
would say maybe,
beans and Franks and toast for that extra
yeah,
disgusting protein.
yeah. I've seen that. It's not uncommon. It's kind of critical you butter that toast. The
Okay.
butter is key. But yeah, hot buttery toast, beans. Yeah, it's probably if I had it for the first time today as a 38-year-old, I don't know if I'd like it, but it's probably a nostalgia base, right? You guys probably have those foods that you ate growing up that are objectively not good, but are just
Yeah.
just nostalgic, right?
I know what type of beans are there? Are those like baked? Are those like Bush's baked beans out of a can, or like because like I guess the bean flavor would be very and like
Yeah,
the bean juice would be very much associated with like if it was going to be good or bad. I feel.
yeah. So American baked beans are much thicker, and you guys often have like bacon and shit in there, right?
Yeah, gotta make
Like in
it
terms of the
fucking
canned ones.
horrible for you.
Yeah, the British ones are a little bit more watery. Less. I'm not selling it, I guess.
I'm just trying to like I'm trying to like picture up. I'm trying to like understand the flavor, like because the picture looks horrible, but like I could see the I could I'm trying to like all right, so like bread and butter, like toasted bread and butter, great.
hmm
Like Bush's baked beans, cool.
hmm
Cheese on top, I guess, like but all together, like I don't know. I think like I think American beans and toast would be better than British beans and toast because as far as like I obviously like I like beans by themselves. I like cheese by itself. I love bread. Like
hmm
I could see it being a thing, but also the macros on it is like trash. It's all fucking carbs and fat. Like there's no pro. I mean, how much? I don't know. How what kind of protein you getting in a bean?
A
I
lot,
don't.
There's
I
a
honestly don't know.
lot of
I have
yeah,
no fucking clue.
yeah.
there's a decent
I don't.
amount of protein in
Okay,
beans. I think you can argue that it's like,
but
not not
the
animal
protein in
based,
carbs
so
has got
it's
to be
not good
bad, doesn't it?
quality. Yeah, but yeah, this isn't something you're eating if you're already counting macros. I don't think.
Gotcha. And the particular picture behind you, is that just something you Googled or is that like your breakfast?
I just googled that,
Are
especially
you
for you guys.
cheater?
Yeah, I haven't
Now,
had beans and toast for
so the
I
big
don't know.
question is, what's the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean?
Nothing.
They're the same, right?
No, I've never had a garbanzo bean on my face.
Nice. Nice.
Badoosh.
There you
I'm
go.
so sorry to everybody listening.
Oh,
I had to do it.
that's so good. I love it. Nothing a little squirt won't fix.
Oh Jesus.
What's that?
This line
Uh,
was implied.
uh, I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like taking it there. I don't care. I've got no fucking boundaries. And
Spell it
I'm
out.
curious if I had been drinking, if I'm like, I'm curious if because I'm not drinking tonight, but I'm curious if I'm more reserved or if I'm less reserved if I've been drinking.
Oh, we're gonna find out at the zoo in about 9 months.
Yeah, yeah. That's gonna be a fun trip. I'm not sure if my wife's gonna make it out this year. I think she might bow out if my buddy Chris comes, because he signed up for the strongman. So if he comes, we'll be able to travel together. So and then if he's doing strongman, he can actually like, help handle and video all my shit. So like that's I mean that's not it's kind of why she came because I didn't want to do a meet alone and she wanted to support me and everything. But don't think she doesn't get it like some of the other like I don't know. She just
It's fine.
like she love her to death. She'll support me forever, but especially this coming year, it's like with work, she took a new job, so like her vacation is like half of what it used to be, basically. Well, she worked from home, she worked for herself before, but now she has a real like 40-hour week job and starts out with like 2 weeks of vacation, which is like nothing. So it's like already gone basically for
Yeah,
2024 just by like doing some family shit. So
I
it might
I
just be
get
me
it.
coming out.
And Morgan's listening to this when it's released. I'll say the same thing. I want her there. I would love to have the kids and her there, but it would be better without them. It will go smoother. It will go easier. It's less expensive. I don't have to worry about other people. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
hmm
What did that fucking? How did that start? How did that tangent start? Oh yeah, because you yeah, seen you at the zoo. There's a
Yes.
Beans on
chance.
toast.
There is a chance I'm flying out of Buffalo.
Yeah, I saw you had looked into that. I'm not
Yeah,
sure what I'm gonna do. I'd much rather leave from Rochester because then I don't have to drive 90
I
minutes to start my day. But
we'll talk. I might genuinely drive to your house and leave my car there and go with you.
yeah, we'll see. Are you coming out alone, David? When you come out?
Yeah, yeah, I'll be
Gotcha.
coming alone. Yeah.
You got a room with Bruno?
Yeah, maybe if I'm lucky.
But can we
Uh,
start just like bragging that you came the farthest? Because I think last year it was Scance that came the
hmm
farthest. Can we just start saying you came all the way from Oxford?
Yeah,
Like it's a
yeah, we could.
total lie, but like you got an
hmm
accent. Nobody's gonna question us.
I'm
You'll
actually going to be in Oxford the week before, so I get back to California on Sunday, and then I fly out to the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic on the
fucking classic.
following
So
Thursday.
take a picture in Oxford
Uh-huh.
and then be like, "Oh, I'm here," and like we'll just start
Yep.
bragging about how you flew the farthest,
Yep.
and nobody will question it. It'll be like the Borat movie because people will be too embarrassed to question. Like, "Oh, he's got an accent. He's from
Exactly.
a different place."
At least you're used to those big flights already. Because I feel like I'd be fucking still jet lag from that like massive flight like on Sunday when I got to turn and like obviously the Thursday
Uh-huh.
flight's gonna be nothing, but like I'd need a week to fucking recover from that. So
Yeah, but if you
you
get
can always
Yeah.
use that for an excuse as why the show didn't go as planned.
the meet
You have
didn't go
to.
the way I wanted. But if you
Yeah.
just get strong, stay strong, and use your strength, like a little jet lag
Hmm.
isn't really going to hurt.
Yeah. Also, if an 11-hour flight with kids, and then a 4-hour flight on my own is, that feels like relaxation time, right? That's me time.
For sure.
So
So I'll be
that'll be
flying
good.
back from South Dakota, and then 4 days later seeing Creed in Toronto. So I know it's not the same thing, but like I just want to put it out there that I got tickets to see Creed because that's really important to me.
Nice.
Good stuff.
I know you reached out to my wife. All this Creed talk in the Discord, it triggered a core memory. And you really have to be submasters to maybe even appreciate this. So I've known my wife since like high school. And I remember kind of really distinctly that when I first went to, or maybe not the first time I went to her house, but one of the first times I went, back in the day, it was all about the CD rack, right? The CD tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd have all your CDs
Oh yeah.
lined up. And she had a few CDs, not a big music person. Uh, but the only CD she had that she owned that was not a Disney soundtrack or a movie soundtrack was a Creed album. And 20, almost 20 years later, yeah, all the Creed talk in the Discord re-triggered that memory. So yeah, she's a big Creed fan.
Great. It's my brother got me into it, and that would have been about the time that My Own Prison came out. Because that album was fucking amazing. And I could probably recite the entire album to you word for word right now. And I remember just before Creed got re-big again, I started listening to it again. And I
Mm-hmm.
distinctly remember I'm in the kitchen and I'm just telling my wife how important Creed was to hard rock. And naturally, she's giving me the wonderful look. She gives me the okay. And then it's just funny that here we are now. Creed's back together, and everybody's talking about butt rock, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's just like the world is resetting. You just let
Yeah,
nature go. Nature finds a way.
yeah. Reminder to all the crew out there, right? There's only probably less than a month until you get your Spotify Wrapped for the Spotify users. So you gotta hammer that butt rock now, so that your top genre is going to be butt rock for the year.
I actually think my top song is one of Creed's songs. I think it was last year.
Yeah, I started listening to Nickelback. It was a while ago, maybe even a year ago, where I think it was over underrated for Tommy,
Yep.
right? And Tommy said underrated for Nickelback, and I like went back and listened to them, and like, they're gonna appreciate this in a, maybe initially in an ironic way, but now actually I think I've tricked myself into actually liking them.
That's how it starts. I remember ripping on my
Yeah.
brother because my brother was like, I like Nickelback. And I was like, I bet you do. And then one day I was just like, do I hate Nickelback or did the internet tell me I hate Nickelback?
Yeah,
Uh,
basically.
and like, so the Photograph song sucks. I'm sorry. That song is terrible. It's just nostalgic crap. But like, they have songs that are genuinely incredible. And I don't know if you've listened. I keep telling people to listen to it. Listen to the song San Quentin. If you like hard rock at all, listen to the song San Quentin off the recent album. It's like metal. It's a weird version of like degent metal. Gent, I think they call it, or whatever that version is. That like, really? And they have a song with Dimebag Darrell. And like, I secretly think they're heavy metal fans who just happen to also make middle of the road trash rock sometimes. So you've got my vote for the Nickelback.
They're probably happy with their decisions because I'm sure they're multimillionaires because they like,
And they do what they want. Yeah, like we're Nickelback. We do what we want.
it's like let's just make all this money and we're good. Just keep, turning out the shit that like the masses want, but like, the core fans of like just music think sucks, but that's okay because we're literally multimillionaires. So fuck you.
Yeah, it's all there in Rockstar, right? Like everyone wants to be a big rock star.
That song's
Like,
great, and that's got
haha, nice, nice.
Billy Gibbons, Tim Gibbons, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. He's the voice in the background.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Trivia.
yeah. I'm a ZZ Top guy, obviously.
Hmm.
What
Makes sense.
Another side tangent here before we get back to some of the questions. Have you met any crew in person? And if so, who have you met? I'm not sure if you've had a chance to run across any of them at any shows or anything that you've done when you're strongman and different events or expos you've gone to.
No, I haven't. I've met. I've met. Well, I haven't met any crew. I've met more guests, podcast guests, than I've met
Okay.
crew.
Yeah, I was going to
Uh,
ask about that earlier. It looks like you've met a fair amount of like pretty famous strongman and whatnot.
yeah. So yeah, I haven't met any crew. I mean, I was supposed to come to Lift Hard Lisbisi, but I got injured. I was supposed to do a strongman comp with Big Toby, and a few other guys came out to watch him, and I couldn't get to that. So yeah, no crew. Um,
Kind of sounds like you're dodging
uh,
us.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, it feels like
I
it.
mean, well, he's proceeded to tell us 19 times that his back currently hurts, and he's probably going to bow out of
Yeah,
2024. You know,
yeah,
I mean, he's going to
just
be like, just
Oh,
fucking.
guys, 11-hour
He's
flight. My back
photographing it for
hurts.
us.
Yeah.
yeah,
Eh.
yeah. So in those seats now, yeah, not the meat I wanted. Yeah, so no crew. Yeah, but a fair number of
But you look like you're about the
podcast
same.
guests.
You look like you're about the same height as Tom Stoltman. So how tall are you, buddy?
Oh yeah. So uh uh so I'm about the same height as Eddie Hall, and Eddie Hall I think lists himself as 6'2" or 6'3", so I guess I'm 6'2" or 6'3".
There
But
you
if I measure myself, I'm actually 6 foot even.
go. Gotcha.
Yeah.
God, so Eddie was 6 foot, 450. That's crazy. That was he was at least 450 probably. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So the strongman guests are probably what drew me into the podcast specifically, right? Like
Yeah.
I found some of the content and like the deadlift platform stuff, but yeah, like actually listening to some of the strongman guest episodes, that was the thing that really hooked me, I think. Yeah, and World's Strongest Man has been out here in Sacramento, or close to here in Sacramento, a couple years, in the last few years. So I've been able to go to that, and that's
Oh, cool. Nice.
had pictures with a bunch of the guys. Been to Big Alan Thrall's, gym and competitions. Also in
Oh, that'd be cool.
Sacramento. Uh, yeah,
You
yeah.
got out to was it Third Street Barbell, met Silent Mike and Jim McD yet? That might be worth a
I
trip in itself.
haven't. Yeah, haven't been
That'd be
to
pretty
their
cool.
gym, but I did meet them at. I did meet both of them at the first Sacramento World's Strongest Man,
Oh,
and then
sweet.
I met Big Jim again at the
Nice.
second Sacramento World's Strongest Man.
Jim's great. Like Jim's like I talk to Jim like multiple times a month in DMs, like he send it like it's not just me sending him shit. Like he'll send me stuff every now and then too, which is kind of cool because like Jim's the man.
Yeah, in fact, I think it was at the first one, maybe even the second one too. Uh, I'm standing there and I'm repping Massonomic stuff, right? Of course,
As you should be,
uh,
you know.
yeah,
Only because we don't have t-shirts yet. That's the only reason.
yeah, yeah. And I'm in the background of a ton of World's Strongest Men 2021 in the blue lift shirt.
Oh, I remember
Uh,
him talking about that, I believe.
but I get a message from Tanner saying, are you a World's Strongest Man or something, right? And it's because Jim has messaged Tanner saying, hey, there's someone here in a lift shirt, right? And then Tanner's messaged me because I probably
Nice.
said on Discord I'm going or something. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Uh, but yeah, Sacramento's kind of like got a lot of strength stuff going on. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, so speaking of some strength stuff, let's get into some of these questions. Big Colty wants to know about using a yoke for every event. I'm not sure if that's a specific question
Mm.
to you or.
Ugh, this is rough. Yeah. So was it like April this year? I did. There was a strongman competition, yoke only competition.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. That sounds
For,
miserable.
yeah, it was.
How do you do that?
I don't
Yoke
know.
uphill, yoke downhill, yoke straight. Like,
Yoke overhead
Yokes,
press.
yoke squat. Yoke squat was the first one
how
for
do you
reps.
squat a yoke? Oh, on a
Yeah.
platform, right? You're on a platform,
Yeah.
Terribly, because you're
obviously.
starting from the bottom, right? You're starting from the bottom, so you're not getting that. You're not going down first and getting that stretch reflex back up, and it's kind of
Ugh.
like a half squat. So it's like,
Ew.
it's kind of weird. That was one of the things that really aggravated my back. Yeah. So yoke squat, I think was the first event. Yoke bench,
What?
which is like it's not a full range of motion, right? So it's like I don't know, 3 board press bench, but it's also it's like 3-inch diameter too, so you don't have really good grip, and it's swinging around, right, a lot more because you got the everything's hanging down. So yoke bench. What else do we do? I guess like an actual yoke run, and then I think we did like an arm over arm pull where we pulled the yoke, and a yoke deadlift, right? Which again is like partial range of motion, but it's a 3-inch diameter, so grip is a problem, and it's further out in front of you. I think shout out to the Orange Glaze, right? He used some of the videos from that in one of the hype videos. Yeah, so yeah, using yoke for every event, definitely overrated.
Somebody was like, I'm gonna do a strongman event, but all I have is this yoke. Well, fuck it. Send off.
That's slightly better than just using stall mats across the board, I guess.
And pea gravel sandbags.
So our friend Chad GPT wanted to know, and this actually makes more sense now that I'm fully aware of your meme account. What's it like being the British version of Mostly Squats?
Ooh.
This is actually a pretty high praise because as much shit as we give him, he's got some fucking fire memes and his account's blowing up.
Yeah, he definitely does. I was about to say that. I think that's a compliment, right? Even like I made some comments on his post and I get like 600 likes on it or something, right? Like he gets some reach somehow. I think probably whatever he did to like sell his soul to the devil to get a head start on race for first comment, I think he's also done to the Instagram guys and got some special treatment in the algorithm.
Him and Dr. Mike went and had a special meeting with some people in charge.
Yeah.
How many of these guys can we jerk off at one time? Good stuff. Let's see. Mofo. You got one?
Yeah, I just want to say this one in Matt's accent. That's all. Tea belongs at the bottom of the Baston Harbour.
Nice.
That's it. That's all he wanted to say. And I just wanted to say Baston Harbour.
I think that was good Boston accent, but what do I know?
I'll never forget, honestly, the at the zoo, I bought a round of shots and Matt's like, I can't drink shots. And I was like, don't worry, man, I'll drink them all. And he looked at me and in his full accent said, you went out drinking me. And it was just in that Boston accent. And I was like, okay, we'll see. And it was just so funny. And I will never remember, I'll never forget, just the deadpan look and the Boston accent. You ain't out drinking me. It was the best moment, I think, at the zoo, aside from getting dragged on to top shelf.
Good stuff. There you go. So Tanner and Jake both kind of asked a little bit about Lift Hard, Live Easy, and how do you think you're going to stack up in general when you're, in your weight class?
With the big men. Who we got? We've got mostly squat videos. We've got I think what do you guys call him? Big Hot?
Yeah, big hot. Big Hot. He is big hot internally.
Is it hot or is it hot? Like HAWT?
Hot. Wicked hot.
Yeah, I think we got some monsters there. I think I probably we got Big Toby. I guess we got Big Scants, or maybe not. He's not sure yet. But yeah, there's some monsters there. I don't think I'll stack up against those guys, but I'll do my best and I'll have fun, and maybe I'll hit some personal PRs.
There you go. That's all that matters. Now, strongman PRs are just weird though, aren't they? Because it's like, well, this is my PR on this log that weighs this much, but then this gym has a different log that weighs 17 pounds more, and the diameter grip is different, and it's like,
this is from the guy that has the spreadsheet of every PR and every variation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would drive me crazy because it would almost be unfathomable to actually track all that different shit, because if you're just traveling to different gyms and stuff, they're all going to have different equipment. Or if you're tracking your competition lifts, you have no fucking clue what actual implements they're going to use and how to correlate that into like, well, this was at a 21-inch deficit versus a 17-inch deficit or something.
I don't think so, Keith. I think at some point weight is weight, and if If I'm lifting at home with a 120-pound log, but I'm at an event and they have a 130-pound log and I lift it the same amount of times that as I do my
Yeah.
120, that's a PR. Like, I think that weight is weight at some point. I think we as powerlifters are just a little spoiled in that we get to choose this is the bar and this is the kilos and this is the form and this is the call and this is the yeah, I think you and I just in what we do are just a little spoiled in how
Yeah.
easily we can track that shit. Like a pound and a half or a 2.5 pound or a 3 pound or a 5 pound PR in strongman is almost fucking useless because of just how many variables there are. But PRs are still going to be PRs. I think I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you're training for a strongman like if you're specifically training for a comp, then you're going to train as close to those events as you can. And then as long as you're whatever you're training on, even if it's not the same equipment or the same dimensions or the same range of motion, right? You're just trying to get stronger over a period of time, right? So yeah, there is a lot more variability. Like, you might hit a certain weight in the gym on a certain piece of equipment and then go to the comp and it's, different equipment or different rules or whatever, right? There's a lot more variability. Yeah. And I like that. Like, I think, maybe it's like powerlifters who get into strongman. They get a little too wrapped up in like, and I think we kind of made this joke with Big Jake, right? Like exactly what bar we're lifting on, exactly what height, exactly what, like,
Mhm.
I just like to turn up, be as prepared as I can, but not over stress the details and whatever I can do on the day, I can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely sent some strongman in my future. Like I don't know if you guys saw the video of me just that rock.
Yeah, I saw you washing off a rock, right? Or
Yeah, I
getting ready.
literally was washing that rock to bring it into the gym. I haven't even weighed it yet, but I asked my dad, I was like, that rock under the tree, because he has like a whole garden out there. And I was like, can I have that rock? And he was like, be careful. Like, I had to get like one of my strongest friends to lift that up into the truck to get it home. And I had to go under a tree to get it, so I couldn't. So like he had to hold up the tree. We had to like roll it out. Like it was a whole to do. And then I picked it up and I was like, I had to walk it to the backyard to wash it. And I walked it to the backyard. My wife was back there and I dropped it. And then I laid down and I was like breathing heavy and dying. And I went, yeah, that's the guy. I want that rock.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen Facebook Marketplace posts where they, it's like landscaping rocks and they post like free. If you can lift it, you can have it.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
I've been very, very, very close to just going to get those rocks I do not need just because,
Prove the.
just to feed my ego. But not yet. I'm not quite there yet.
I'm going to fucking lift it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith, you
Like,
had one in mind. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna see if we wanted to segue into a little fuck Mary kill that Joey wants to ask you.
Oh, I got a question actually
Yeah.
about FMK
Okay.
because my understanding of FMK I think is different from how you guys have been playing it on previous episodes.
Okay.
So kill obviously is pretty straightforward, right? That's the one you like the least.
I could afford to get
third
rid of
place.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Marry to me is like, which one am I like, but I'm comfortable, being around the rest of my life.
Be careful, your wife might listen to this. I don't know. You gotta
right.
Yeah.
That's like
don't short sell marriage.
the comfort option. I think previous guests have used the fuck option as like also a hate kind of thing.
No.
Whereas I think
don't
fuck is like, what's the quick, the quickie.
Yeah.
Right?
Me and you are gonna me and that F. We're gonna have a really good short period time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
okay.
how I
Maybe
play
I've been
it.
misunderstanding that, but that's
Yeah.
Okay. At least it's like international rules.
Yes, when you ask me that question, fuck is I'm gonna enjoy you for a few minutes and that's about it. Mary is we're gonna settle down. I could handle you for a while.
Yep.
And kill is I'm good without you.
Yeah.
But
good. Okay.
Yes,
I got the rules.
So there's no druthers. I don't think I think this is the first game where there are no druthers. That is how you have to play this game.
Okay.
Okay. So FMK, David Bowie, David Beckham, David Blaine.
Bowie or Bowie?
Oh, Bowie's
Ooh,
in space.
Bowie's in space.
Is it Bowie or
Uh,
Bowie?
Bowie.
so he himself said it's a made
Oh
up
yeah.
name, so you
Yeah.
can say however you want.
Yeah. So Ziggy Stardust, David Beckham, or David Blaine.
I've got to say, kill. Oh, I don't know actually. Right, this is good. I gotta say, kill David Beckham.
Agree.
Ugh, okay.
Free up Posh
I guess
Spice.
I have to say, yeah. Then I have to say, fuck David Blaine, right? It's kind of like do some magic, but I don't want to live with you.
Stop
Kind of annoying.
hiding everything.
Yeah. Why are you in like a glass cage or something?
He
Uh,
did do that, didn't he?
yeah. For like, I don't know. It probably wasn't actually that long, right? Like 7 days or something. Uh, yeah. So, marry David Bowie.
All right. I guess
Any agreement, disagreement?
I don't disagree. Actually, I'd probably go the same way. Fucking David Beckham marrying Posh Spice. She was mine.
Mm. I don't know. I'd probably put Beckham a little bit. I don't really know David. I don't watch fucking magicians shit. I vaguely remember just like back when I had cable, there'd be like a special every now and then. Other than that, like I've never had a magician come across my feed ever in my life. I don't think
Uh,
so. I only vaguely know who David Blaine is from like something he did 20 years ago.
David Blaine
Mm.
is probably um one of the top ever to
Yeah.
do what he does. And I'm not like a magic lover. Like I'm not out there like looking for magicians to follow and enjoy, but like some of the stuff he did at the time that he did it, when there was David Copperfield, there was Chris Angel, they were the big famous guys, and they were doing big elaborate bullshit. Just stuff that like we're gonna make the an elephant disappear, blah blah blah, and then David Blaine would just walk up and like pull a piece of string out of his stomach that he just swallowed, and it's fucking weird. It was weird and wild and so different and up close. So I actually kind of like David Blaine, but like since I don't love magic that much, I would go fuck David Blaine too. Like I don't, and there's this other guy, this guy I saw on America's Got Talent. He's really scary too. He was really fun. Clack, I think his name was. All right. So
Yes.
we've got our second sponsor read coming before we jump into the last segment. Um, we have two kind of sponsors going right now. We've got code unpaid with Obsidian Ammonia, which I encourage you guys to use as often as you can. Ultimately, yes, that goes to us using Obsidian Ammonia, but it does save you 15%. I did use that Dim Mac Redux tonight again, and that stuff is fire. Like that hurts. I've always joked that oh, there you go, the Reefer Madness.
Unopened. Saving
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but you know how to activate it though, right? Like you're one up on.
Mm-hmm. I'm not Grayson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know your wife's
But
birthday?
has the instructions on the back too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all you have to do is
Add
read it. No,
add
stupid
water and
us.
shake.
Um, yeah, that stuff fucking hurt though. Like it's not often I loved nose bleach because I could get in there and it would hurt just enough, but this Dimax stuff fucking hurts. Did you guys get in the ampules?
I saw them. It looked like they were sold out when I
For
saw it
two
on the
hours.
website.
For 2 hours, he was like, these are a Black Friday product, but I'm going to see if they're going to be popular. And for 2 hours, he put
Hmm.
them out there, and I think he did sell out.
Yeah.
So I've got two packs coming, as well as the tobacco one, and I used our code.
I was on the website. Like I said, my only experience with ammonia was the one I got from at the Live for Live Easy, and I like was like, oh, I'm just gonna keep this for nostalgia. And then I finally did crack it open a few months ago. I was like, okay, I guess I can fuck with ammonia. I was always hesitant. Like I lifted for fucking like 10 years before I tried ammonia for the first time, other than just getting like secondhand snorts of it from people
Yep.
around me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, be a periodic ammonia user. So I'm gonna run the one that I have out. Eventually, I'll have to look in. I was on his website, kind of looking at like which one of these scents would I kind of be like least disturbed by, I guess. And nothing really jumped out at me. So I'll have to. But it did look like the Dim Mac thing was like a completely different like level. Like
Yeah,
it was like in like its own little extra bag for like safety or some shit, which was kind of like, okay, I don't think I want that.
we cracked it at Steve's for the garage gym, and like that corner of the house was uninhabitable for like
Yeah.
5 minutes. So yeah, and then the other code we have is
Yeah,
barbell
to get a
rescue.
little barbell rescue code NWC. Big Carp took advantage of that, I think last week. Go ahead and any money we get from any money I get from that is just going to go towards the podcast. I get that it's got my I set it up for my gym because I was going to use it for my gym, but no one's really doing anything with it from there. So if anyone wants to contribute to the podcast a couple bucks and get a barbell rescue brush on top of that, have at it.
All right, that is the fastest ad read I think we've ever done.
Good. We might wrap this up under 2 hours, 2.5 hours if we're lucky.
Yeah, we're getting close.
We don't have to though. We're good. I ain't got to work tomorrow, so I don't give a fuck. I'm so happy. So
Okay,
happy I get some money.
unpaid and overrated time.
No, should we go over this one? Because it seemed like Fuck Mary Kill was a struggle for you. What do you is
Oh
there anything is
Jesus!
there anything unpaid or under well, the struggle is in
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
fuck off. I'll bust everyone's balls. I don't care. Don't make me fucking feel bad about it. Are we doing unpaid and underrated wrong in your opinion?
No, you are not.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. And you are
I
familiar
understand
with
the
it because
rules.
you are a loyal listener. So let's dive right in. I want to ask you unpaid or underrated celery. What do you think about celery?
Ugh, celery is completely unpaid. It contributes nothing.
What?
Uh, it contributes nothing except this, like, it's funny, like ammonia. It's like a weak ammonia taste to me, like weak
What?
piss, right?
Like weak pits.
So
Ammonia
that
is
would
like
be
strong
considered not.
piss, but
So it's
but
not piss.
celery is weak piss. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so not piss.
it's
Okay.
piss adjacent though.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, completely
Now,
unpaid.
what are when's the last time you had celery? Or do you just straight up like
Oh,
you as an adult you see it and you're like, yeah, I'm not touching
I mean, I'm not going to eat a stick of celery. Like,
it.
even
Yeah.
if you put whatever peanut butter in it, I'm not going to eat
Hmm.
it. If it's in like I don't know, what would it be in, like a soup
Yeah, like a
or
stew.
yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna try and eat around it.
Okay.
If the piece accidentally slips in, I guess I'm not gonna like gag, but I don't like it. Yeah.
So if you order wings and it comes with celery, you're just gonna eat your wings and leave a stack of celery.
So here's a hot take. I also think bone-in chicken is unpaid. I'm not a butcher. I'm not preparing my own meats. Just give me not boneless wings, but boneless chicken.
Hmm.
I'm
No,
so happy. I'm so happy you called it bone-in chicken because I started doing that and like it's
Uh-huh.
taking off. There's a bone-in chicken wings, and I said it once, and the guy I work with was just like, "What did you call it?" I was like, "Oh, these are bone-in chicken wings," and then he was like, "I hate that." And then I swear to God, an hour later, he was like, "I'm going for bone-in chicken wings tonight," and I was like, "Yes, take it,
Nice.
go."
I've been eating a fair. I really think I've just like been assimilated into the crew so hard that like I've always disliked like bone-in wings, if you will.
Mhm.
And I get wings like once a month now, and I fucking love them, and I eat the shit. I like
No,
if they're good, like bad. Just like I'll never fucking go to the BW3 again and waste my time and like calories and just food on shitty soggy wings. I'm gonna be give me a nice crispy wing. I'll enjoy that.
I eat wings
Give me
like once a week. I
garlic parm or barbecue. I'm happy. All
But
right.
no, so that was a wild answer because I've never heard somebody have such a stance on celery. I fucking enjoy celery because I like peppery tastes. So that was pretty wild.
Hmm.
Is there like something that triggered it? Like, did you like drink so much celery one day you got sick and never want to do it again, like Paul Dyer? Or
No, like I like every other green vegetable, right? That like everyone hates. I like. But yeah, celery just yeah, just don't like it.
Mhm.
Something about it.
hmm,
Well, unpaid or underrated, what's your opinion? And you have to explain this for most people, I think, because I didn't know what it was. What do you think about bread sauce?
Okay. Uh, so bread sauce is definitely underrated. Bread sauce is it's a milk and onion based sauce that also has bread in it. So it's traditionally eaten with uh, uh, with Christmas dinner, which would be more similar to an American Thanksgiving dinner, right? Like turkey or some kind of weird poultry, not chicken, because
Well,
we
it's
eat
a
chicken every
goose.
other day.
It's a goose. It's
Yeah, a
Ebenezer
goose or
Scrooge.
a
Ebenezer Scrooge.
yep,
It's a goose for you.
yeah. And then the bread sauce is there, as a side to that, really to make that dry old turkey meat or whatever not so dry. Yeah, so it's not well known, so it's definitely underrated.
What is it?
Again, objectively, it's not good, but nostalgia, it's pretty powerful. Hell of a
So
drug.
you said so milk and oniony. So is it more like is it like a chip dip kind of? Like if you had to would it be like a French
Mm,
onion dip? Like not, but like is the texture or the flavor or anything? Like compare it to something that is in like a known American food, I guess.
I'm picturing it. I'm picturing it.
I'm
It'll be
struggling hard.
creamy onion, breadcrumbs, not breadcrumbs or
yeah,
croutons.
yeah, it's not like crude. It's like thick and stodgy.
Would
It's
it
not. It's
taste
not objectively good.
would it taste better with celery in it?
No,
Would you
no.
eat it off of celery if the only way you could ever have bread sauce again for the rest of your life was to
Mm,
eat it off of celery? Would
no,
you
I
would
wouldn't.
you well, what if you didn't what if you just had to use the celery as the utensil and you didn't actually have to consume it? So you still had to kind of go mouth, but
Jesus.
you could just kind of suck
Okay,
the bread sauce off.
I'm just sucking the celery off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you hate celery that much or do you love bread sauce that much?
I think I would do that. Yeah, you're not going to
Okay.
get much celery taste from that.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
what about fennel?
Fennel. Yeah, I guess that's celery adjacent.
It's so
But
celery
it
just, but it's so
but it
delicious.
has that. What is that taste? Is that like licorice
It's black
taste?
licorice
Fennel.
taste. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but more subtle, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
I like fennel sausage especially.
Hell
Right.
yeah.
That like
Yeah.
that taste. That's good. Right. In like a stuffing or something. That's really good.
Hmm.
But yeah, celery.
So there's
Unpaid.
something about celery. Oh, I want to investigate this so much more.
So everyone do
Hmm.
us a favor and make some Big David celery memes, and we'll really enjoy them, and I'll post the shit out of them this coming week.
I want to
Yep.
know what it was.
I do too. I
Celery
hope you do.
killed my dad or something.
Yeah.
Something's
Oh
going
Some
yeah.
repressed
So
memory. Hmm.
so I'll wrap up my third one here. Let me pick which one I want to go with. Let's go ketchup. What do you think about ketchup?
on.
Ugh,
I'll keep all mine to food.
unpaid.
Okay.
Agreed. Trash condiment.
Yeah, I don't really like any condiments a lot. I'm not a big
Except bread
condiment
sauce.
guy, except bread sauce. Yep. But yeah, something about ketchup, and I think this one
Ow.
probably is some kind of repressed memory, Joey, like you're thinking, because both me and my sister, my older sister, who's much closer to me in age, we both hate ketchup. And but apparently we used to love it, right? Like as kids we'd like put it on everything, like everything was covered in ketchup, we'd love it. But as teenagers or adults, at some point we just started hating it. So I'm sure there is some traumatic experience that is now linked with ketchup that we're yeah but yeah.
Did the when you were on the side of the mountain taking a shit, did the Germans walk by? Were they holding ketchup? Do you think that might have been what it happened?
Heinz.
Maybe.
Heinz.
Oh, all right, then
I
that'll wrap up my trifecta of food
I
questions
I
for you.
hate ketchup too, so I'm with you on that one. And it's like someone's like, I just told him like I could just literally put tomatoes on my burger. Like
Yeah, it's
why
just
would I mash them up and mix them with sugar and then put them on my burger? That doesn't make any sense.
like vinegar and yeah, gross.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty nasty. All right, so that leaves me with some fun ones.
Yeah, you got a handful to pick from.
There's an obvious one on there. I don't think I'm going to go with the obvious one.
Yeah.
So unpaid or underrated. This one comes from Big Hot. The Dinny Stones.
Dinny stones. Hmm. Good question. I think I got to go underrated. I think most people, general population, have no idea what they are. Um, I think, I think in the strongman community, right, there's seems to be like a big awareness of them, and
Yep.
maybe it's, within that group, maybe it's a little unpaid, but yeah, generally underrated. Um, yeah, so we talked about the yoke specific competition. Uh, I've also done uh, two rock, uh, rock or stone based competitions. Both times having max Dinny Stone lift up to the full weight.
Oh.
And I've picked up the full weight twice at those competitions. So yeah, I love the Dinny Stones, or I love the Dinny Stone lift.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one day you know, I'll be going to Scotland to try it out for real.
What is the
Yeah.
full Denny Stone weight?
It's about 730, so it's like 315 on the small side and 415 pounds on the bigger side.
Jesus, I can imagine picking up 400 pounds with one fucking hand.
It's pretty small range of motion. It's kind of like a suit, it's like a Jefferson. In fact, like when I was training for it, I did a ton of Jefferson deadlifts, right?
Yep.
So it's that like split stance. And then it's just about how much pain you can tolerate on the hook grip.
It
right?
is too.
Like it's just how much you hate your thumb.
I've got the Denny Stone replicas, so I've played, like, I love them, and it's finding room to do them, and it genuinely just comes down to like, this is I've never. Okay, so like I enjoy the calluses from powerlifting because sometimes like you're rubbing your hands together and you're like, oh, that feels good. I could go for a lift. I've never fully had blood bruises on my hands until the time I tried to max out on the Denny Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
like where the soft part of your right under your fingers, they just turned to blood bruises. They were just yeah, and it was great. I was like, I'll do
Yep.
that again.
Yep. I even got like blood bruises under the thumbnail, right where the thumbnail's bent so much from the hook grip.
Yep.
Yep. The nails didn't fall off, luckily, but yeah, pretty painful. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So definitely, well, I guess I almost rode the line, but underrated overall.
Okay. So unpaid or underrated. American actors doing British accents. And I can't think of an example. So if you have one, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's much more common for British actors to be in American movies, right? Or as American characters. Uh, yeah, good question. Like my thought is definitely unpaid, but now I struggle to actually think of an example where someone's really done it badly. Um, Bridget Jones, right? That was pretty bad. Renee Zellweger.
Yeah. Winona
That
Ryder,
one
I
was
think,
pretty
too.
bad.
Winona Ryder did a really bad one in a movie as well.
Mm. Um, yeah, unpaid.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, and then the crew can kind of back us up on that one and let us know. So
I
then
was, I was, I was trying to look up some, and nothing's really like Google's Sherlock Holmes, Sean Austin in Lord of the Rings, Angelina Jolie and yeah, that word I can't
Maleficent.
pronounce. There you go.
I love
Peter
that movie.
Dinklage and Game of Thrones.
Did he do a British like British adjacent?
Yeah, this was just like the top 10 list. None of them like jump out at me going, oh yeah, that was a American doing a British accent. Like, so I don't know.
Hey, well, moving on then. So unpaid or underrated, British actors doing American accents.
Oh, I guess I'm probably not the person to ask, right? Like you guys would be better to tell me that.
Do you have an American accent impression?
I do not.
No,
No,
just
I
nothing
don't.
you've worked on.
Yeah, I feel like I should. Maybe it's something I can work on, build up to for July.
Just
Uh,
walk up to Matt with your own Boston accent, just fuck with his
yeah,
whole life.
That would be fucking great.
yeah,
Here's something
yeah.
that kind
So,
of I
so
said
yeah,
here's something. Yep.
I don't think I'm a good judge,
Okay.
but yeah, let's say underrated, I guess.
Well, I I think I've mentioned it before. They always end up just sounding like House to me, right? So
Mm,
like he did it in House, Hugh Laurie,
hmm
right? Love Hugh Laurie, great comedy stuff,
hmm
slapstick from his early days, good musician. If you've
hmm
ever actually, I don't know how much you like Americana blues, Keith, but Hugh Laurie has an incredible two albums where he
Mhm.
does probably American blues better than most Americans. Um, and then he was House, and he just does like the whisper kind of talk, and then Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange does the exact same voice, and then I just started hearing it all the time. Whenever a British actor would do an American accent, it just sounded like Hugh Laurie as House. Uh,
Yep, I can see that. He's got a very British, very, stereotypical British accent, I guess, right? The real,
so
The
let's
one that
talk.
real.
Let's go with. I am drawing a fucking blank on his name right now. The guy that played Batman. Um,
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Rob.
Is he British?
Yeah, I
Mm,
think so.
Yep,
Yeah.
doing the House voice. Right. It's just all whispery, crumbly, like deep guttural voice. Like not the Batman, but like even his Bruce Wayne
hmm
voice was that way. Um, we talked about him last week or the week before. He's like the world's best actor, and he's retired now. Daniel Day-Lewis. Now he did really good versions of it, but he always had to go like over the top and do like weird American accents, right? Also, I think he's very British. So
I think I want to say he's Australian, but I could be wrong.
is he?
there are a lot of Australian actors that do like that. That one catches me off guard a lot. So, what was
I'll
it the show
Google. I'll Google that.
I get confused yeah,
I
I
watch
get confused for Australian all the time.
I watch
Really?
I watch. No, I can see that. I guess. Yeah, I watched Chicago Fire, and if you want to watch that, Chief Bowden, but it'll blow your mind if you didn't know. Like he is not American. He is like got like the deepest, most strongest, like stoic, like American voice in the show, and it's just like his voice literally is his character. And then I saw him on like a YouTube clip just talking in his fucking. I honestly don't know if it was it was so long ago that I saw it. If it was British or if it was Australian, I think it was British. But it was just like, wait, what? You're not actually like Chief Bowden's voice that blew me away. I was like, God damn it.
Is
Daniel
that the
Day.
guy that was also in House? There was like a young guy that was also in House.
Yes, yeah,
It is, right?
yeah,
He's
he was
Australian for
he
sure.
yeah, and he was also on Chicago Fire for the majority of the show too, yeah. And
Yep.
hearing his voice always because he has like a very like he's got a Chicago accent and you know that
hmm
shows. But yeah, I mean it's I don't really notice it necessarily. But it's once you see them like on the red carpet talking and then you go back and watch the show, that's the only time I think I ever really notice it. But if you just put that out of your mind, it's like, yeah, that's just a character.
Daniel Day Lewis is from Kensington.
Oh, okay. I
Yep,
stand
very
corrected.
very British. I just don't remember. Did we get an unpaid or underrated from you on that one?
I'm gonna say underrated. I think I guess voice coaches have got better, right? Like maybe I don't know, maybe 30 years ago there was some bad stuff, right? Maybe before that even, but yeah, I think I think for the most part, I'm still surprised by like Keith was, right? Like when someone turns out to be British or Australian, they sound very American to me at least.
So I got two short follow-ups, I guess. Has your British accent decreased any in the last 7, 8 years?
Yeah, yeah. So if I go back to England, my family, my friends, they'll make fun of me, right? It's definitely I don't know, softened or yeah, has
Mhm.
changed over time. Um, uh, yeah, yeah, so it's definitely changed. And yeah, it's just easier, speaking to Americans all day. I'll
Hmm.
change words that I would have used, or drop U's, or drop L's, or whatever it is, right? It's just easier. Yeah.
No, and then the second part. So this kind of harkens back to something that Joey and I talked about a few podcasts ago. I think he brought it up specifically, like they, I think he even had said that they had a term where you're listening to someone with an accent and you end up kind of regurgitating their accent a little bit to them. Is that something you get like with coworkers or people you're around potentially, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think like definitely in the long term, right? Like the more you're around things, the more you pick it up and change. Yeah, not like, if I'm going to talk to someone for a few hours or a couple of days, right? Or I'm somewhere
Hmm.
for a few days, then, definitely not. But yeah, 7.5 years, like,
Gotcha.
yeah, it
Do
changes some
you
things.
now I don't know if you're much of a drinker. Do you drink? Oh yeah. Do you drink the booze here and there?
Yeah, not a ton.
Well,
Like,
I guess what I'm getting at is like my wife will tell me if I'm like pretty fucking shitty. Like I get drunk
uh-huh.
maybe once a year. My West Virginia fucking twang comes out really bad, I guess. So I guess I'm like, hey, have you been drunk in the last 7 years and fucking sounded completely like your old self?
Good question. No one's ever told me that I do. Yeah.
Find out in July, right?
I think it's more likely if I'm like, if I'm slurring, I'd probably sound
Mhm.
more American, right? Like
Yeah.
those T's would turn to D's, and yeah, maybe it was slurring a little bit more. So yeah, I think it would probably go the other way, to be honest.
All right. Well, that concludes a little unpaid and underrated. And we knocked out pretty much everything. I think it's time to hand it over to you there, Big Dave. You want to hit us with some questions?
You're just gonna hit us with meme material. Anything we answer is
Yeah.
gonna be
That's
totally
good.
subjected to
Yeah.
memes.
Yeah.
We all have some
So
memes to make here.
So I kind of have a couple. I thought of a couple unpaid, underrated
Love it.
topics for you guys, but I guess I had one question too. What do you think they're going to do for the 400 episode?
That's
Oh,
were they are they two out or three out? They're close, right?
two or three, right? It's not far.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be
Bill, Billboard.
But in Sioux
um
Falls, they'll do a Crew Falls
oh
billboard because it'll probably coincide with
Mm.
the December to
the
Remember.
ooh yeah, that would I wonder if episode 400 would be the week of. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're gonna do for 400, but I would fucking kill to like have them do some kind of round, either a party cast or a round table or something.
There's been talk of that
Like,
actually, and that
like I'm
would
literally gonna,
I think that does coincide with episode
like,
400.
I'm fucking, I'm gonna be in goddamn Crew Falls at like noon on Friday. Let's make a podcast happen, guys.
Mm.
Let's fucking do it. But I don't know, like, uh, Let's Get Stupid did their 200s in a strip club last week,
I
so
saw
I don't
that.
know, and that would be interesting. But there's no more Silver Dollar in Aberdeen, so I'm sure
Hmm.
they're curious what they have in Sioux Falls for
We'll
the
go
strip
to
clubs.
Aberdeen and make our own strip club.
Yeah, we'll get Big Bryce down there, take his shirt off, we'll be all set.
Okay.
Uh,
That's our
what
conspiracy theory for
what
the
did
day.
what is your behind the scenes take on it?
Behind the scene, I don't think I have any behind the scenes
Yeah, I
special
don't know.
knowledge. I guess I could make something up.
Yeah. I mean,
Start the Discord rumor mill.
what we're here for.
Uh, Yeah, Billboard would be good. The Crew Falls thing is it's an interesting. Yeah, I don't have any, maybe a crew gift or some kind of big drop, but yeah, I don't have
I don't
any
remember. Well,
special insight.
like them, I don't like. I think Tommy even said Tommy's like, I don't remember what we did for 300. Like, I don't either. What the fuck did you do for 300?
When we
Was
do
Uh,
our 100th episode.
where's I'm gonna call it the 100th too. We're not gonna play with that one because
No, no,
that's
no.
got to be.
Actually, I genuinely think it would be funny is if we release shirts that just say episode something and just maintain this joke going for as long as possible. I mean, what
yeah,
joke? But yeah,
Yeah.
just episode something, and it would be our 100th episode celebration.
Yeah.
I get
Was 300 the call-in? There was a call-in
it
episode.
might
Was
have.
that 300?
They've had a few. It might have been. I was just thinking about the other day. Someone was talking about like someone made a meme about like how they the inception of the Live Hard Live Easy and how it kind of took so long to get off the ground. And I was like, I remember like it's like yeah, like that when we whatever the call in episode was like at least 18 months ago. Like my question was about the Live Hard Live Easy, and that would have been like in July. I think it was summertime of 2022, I guess. It was a solid year removed from it, and
Hmm.
they were still like they didn't really have anything solidified at all because they didn't,
Right.
it didn't get planned until like fucking January or February. So that was that definitely harkened back a little bit when someone had posted like the origin. There was some meme about the origin of the Live Hard Live Easy, I think.
And
Hmm.
they and like I listen back to I don't listen, I kind of remember back to I don't do back catalog or even repeat episodes. And I kind of think of Tanner being like, it is gonna happen. We hope everybody like you can kind of sense the hesitancy because they weren't even sure people were gonna fucking show up.
And now there's
And now
eight.
they can't even keep us back.
Yeah,
Right.
Like 90 people in 24 hours or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's great. Yeah, plus the 20, well, however many strongman. Yeah, there's over 100 people that decided to spend $1,000 to come out.
yeah,
It's gonna be 500. I mean, I guess you can exclude the local people that basically don't have to pay much, but still, there's over 50 of us that are going to spend like a literal vacations amount of money to come out for a weekend and hang out with the boys.
I said I
Mhm.
was coming even if I wasn't lifting, and I just happened to also be lifting. And I do appreciate the kind of evolution and what we did with Massonomics here because it went from genuinely we don't know if people are going to show up to guys stop trying to show up. Like there's so many of you. We did it, crew.
And that
And
is our answer on the 400th episode, guess.
the meme today that I think Grant and the Strength Co posted
Oh, that was funny. Yeah,
with like
yeah,
the two attractive ladies and the guy in the background. I was like, that is so fucking accurate as to what the
Yep.
Live Hard Live Easy is going to be. And I think that like some of these big names that like canceled last minute or just aren't coming, I think eventually might regret it.
yeah.
Just not being there for day one or day two. So maybe you show up next year, but
Yeah,
you're missing out.
I'm curious if they reserved any spots for quote unquote celebrities, but I don't even care. Like, I don't even want anyone to come steal the spotlight from us because
Yeah.
I think it's going to be cool. Just like I think us meeting like our friends that we like we met probably 30 of us or whatever, but there's gonna be at least 50 people. Well, whatever, some like 30 to 40, 50 people that our crew that we talk to on Discord and Instagram that we're actually going to meet again, for the first
Yep.
time. Like on top of the 30 people that we met last year. Like that's going to be cool. Like I'm excited about that. I don't need a famous person to flake on us again and be like, oh, I'd rather just not even have that even be in the equation. Just keep them out, or they either come or just don't say you're going to come. It's kind of my opinion on that.
Hmm. Yep. Okay, so I got a couple of unpaid, underrated topics.
Both of us or
Love
for
them.
single one of us?
A few are for just one of you, and a few of them are
Okay.
for both of
Love
you.
it.
So I'll let you know.
Fire away.
So first one for Big Keith. Unpaid or underrated American barbell.
Oh, ooh, that is a good one actually, because that's like fuck. Mm, Probably unpaid, but it's because I haven't had a chance to play with the Chewy bar too much yet. Like if I had a Chewy and I like fell in love with it, I'd probably go under like so currently unpaid because my one American barbell bar is an American mammoth bar, which they don't make anymore because it's just it's extremely passive knurling and I don't love it. Like it's a extremely well constructed bar. Um, but for being a power bar, it is trash as far as the knurl. So for that being my main experience with American Barbell, unpaid. I've also listened to at least one podcast he did. And like the guy that owns the company is very much a commercial gym guy making commercial gym equipment and just like doesn't really give a fuck about the home gym community. I mean, and it literally took like in the entire Discord of the whole, the home gym Discord to like, you know, prod him enough to, actually recreate the power bar and like make a good one. But then I don't like they have like, well, we have this like we have this really aggressive version and we have this less
Hmm.
aggressive version, and no one understands the fucking TPI, and you have to special order if you want the sharp one. I'm like, no, just fucking make the bars, put them on the goddamn website, and explain which one's the sharpest. So for them
Yep.
not getting their shit together for their power bar, unpaid for sure. But
Yep. I can understand that. Yeah. I talked earlier, whenever it was, 4 hours ago, about my starting my home gym. In peak 2020 COVID time, when there was whole Reddits devoted to, like, when Rogue is back in stock on stuff, right? And shipping from Ohio to California is super expensive. So my first barbell, my first weights were American barbell, because some guy uh, uh, basically just took a truck to Vegas, right, where American barbell is kind of based, filled up his truck with stuff, right, bought stuff kind of wholesale, I guess, and set up shop in the Bay Area and just selling stuff to like people who wanted it, right? Like individual stuff, right? Not commercial stuff. So I ended up getting stuff, a little bit more expensive than the Rogue sticker price, but with zero shipping, right? So it ended up being like basically the same cost. And I think the quality of the stuff I got is higher than, some
mhm.
made for home gym stuff, right? Because it's like commercial grade, right? Like
Yeah.
much more durable. So I would say, like, from my perspective, I'd say underrated. But yeah, very different experiences, I guess.
Yep. And my answer could change in the future if I actually get a Chewy and I fall in love with it. But
Yeah,
I don't like their indecisiveness and the fact that
yeah,
like they've been people have been trying to get them to make a deadlift bar for 5 years and like they can't figure it out. And it's just like it's not fucking hard. Just make a 27 fucking millimeter bar that's got whip, like, and make it stainless. Well, making a stainless steel is the hard part because
right.
no one like it's stainless steel is too hard to be whippy basically. But I don't know. Like I guess it's hard because I'm so in fucking invested in the home gym community to like grasp that like oh these like big companies that literally make all their money selling commercial gym equipment just kind of dabble in the home gym equipment field like are neglecting us, but like well they're neglecting like such a sub market of their like if they make $1 million like they're only getting fucking like $100,000 from gym equipment out of like from home gym equipment or whatever. So like I get it, but it's just as a home gym guy I'm gonna always support companies that more home gym focus, which even Rogue isn't. Rogue doesn't give a fuck about the home gym. Like you know.
Right. Yep.
All right. Sorry, I kind of
Okay.
rambled there.
Good answer. Big Joey, unpaid or underrated? Might be pronouncing this wrong. Weber's Burgers.
All right, Weber's Burgers?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. I might if you give
Uh,
me some context.
so I have a follow up if you don't. But I've been to Toronto a couple times, but the best time I've been was in summer. We drove up to Muskoka Lakes and stayed in a cottage up there.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way up from Toronto City to Muskoka, we stopped at this roadside burger place that was like crazy busy.
Yep, I know
I
it.
had to look up the name, Weber's Burgers.
Yep. Yeah,
Unpaid or
actually,
underrated?
I've never had it. And
Oh,
because I refuse to stand in those lineups. And
huge line, right?
for those of you that don't know, Weber's Burgers is on the side of a very, very busy highway. And they are so fucking busy that they have a parking lot in front of their building, and then they have a parking lot on the other side of the highway with a bridge that goes over the highway
Wow.
Yep.
to them. And you have to order sometimes hours in advance. And I remember driving by and looking and saying to my wife, like, what is that? Why aren't we there? Look at that crowd. And she was like, well, you hate crowds. That's why we're not there. And then she told me the story of what they are. And yeah, I've actually never had them because I have zero patience for waiting that long for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm obviously going to have to say unpaid because lineups are for people that care about that kind of stuff. But it is likely a very, very good hamburger.
I remember the line. I do not remember the burger. So
Oh,
probably
so
have
that
to agree with you.
yeah, that might make some sense. But yeah, I just distinctly remember coming back and going, "Wait, is that parking lot so that I can walk to Weber's?"
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, yeah, it is. It's like, holy shit. And then there was a candy shop. The candy shop actually across from Weber's probably was way more important because it's this weird little place on the side of a highway that has all of this candy from all over the country and parts of the US. It has a weird little like elf playland off to the side, and then they have like this really old stainless steel playground in the back. And my kid's like 3 because we're coming back from Muskoka. And yeah, we stop and I look at the slide and I was like, I fucking remember that slide from when I was his age. Those have been banned. And he was just like, yay. And I was like, oh, he's gonna get tetanus tonight. But yeah, that's fun that you bring that up. Thank you for the description there. It took me a second there. But no, I have no patience for those types of lineups.
Yep, I'm with you. So I did a little bit deep dive. This one's for Big Key. Unpaid or underrated, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Ooh. Erie, Pennsylvania is so that's a town about 3 hours from me and about 3 hours from my parents. So we meet up there periodically because neither of us really want to drive 6 hours to like spend a weekend together. So like that is like a hub little area that we can both get to in a long morning drive. So specifically for that reason that it's like allowed me to see my parents more while they're still on this earth, 100% underrated. The town itself, unpaid, but the trips to Erie are extremely underrated for me.
What about the television show Erie, Pennsylvania?
I don't know that I've seen it or heard of it.
Oh,
Erie,
yeah.
Indiana.
Oh, is it Erie, Indiana, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for correcting me on that one.
Yep. It was like a kids show. It was like
it was X-Files for kids. It was X-Files for kids.
Yeah, right. I remember it being good, but I'm sure looking back, it wasn't great.
Yeah, more mullets than I want to remember.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. A lot of these are for Keith.
That's fine.
Skip some of them.
He's way more important than I am.
I mean,
well, I guess let me ask Big Joey first. Unpaid or underrated? The name David.
I just know so many fucking Davids. Like, there's just no end to the amount of Davids I know. And it's not like have you ever met somebody and they don't know their name and then they say a couple things and you kind of guess their name? Like,
yep.
I don't.
It's a Kyle, maybe.
A Kyle. It's actually. I hate to say it's a Keith. I've met enough Keiths to know when a Keith is in my vicinity. It's not a bad thing. I don't have that with Davids because, like,
I'm a David.
I know so many Davids, and they're all so different. Yet, like, now that I'm thinking of all the Davids I've met in my life, there's like one or two outliers, but I can kind of sense David's now. So probably unpaid, just in the sense that, like, I don't think I named my kid a David, but I'm also not my parents. Why do you ask that question?
It's mostly for Keith, because I know Keith has shunned the name, his birth name.
Jesus, don't fucking say that I did it. I'll go on a fucking tangent. Was that the first episode where I had like an emotional breakdown, like explaining why my name was Keith and why I don't go by David because I didn't fucking choose it because I was a fucking a 1 day old person and I was just told this was what my name was.
You don't get to pick your fucking name.
Exactly.
You know.
Oh, so you do remember it? Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. That's actually fantastic.
That was one of my favorite like little like rants on this podcast. That was a good shit.
Yep. Okay, I'll bring it in with this last one. This one's for both of you. Because I know this is a big movie podcast. And that's what we mostly like to talk about.
Movies and food. Movies.
We didn't talk about Star Wars this entire episode. Holy shit, that's crazy.
Oh,
yet
I am not a Star Wars guy.
Because you're a Trekkie, huh?
Might be a hot take. I'm not a Trekkie either. So unpaid or underrated? I'll ask Joey first again.
Hmm.
Fight scenes, unpaid or underrated?
Okay, so like we were talking about this the other day. I'm a sucker for Western and noir. So, revenge movies, fucking love revenge movies. I'll watch them all day, every day. That's why John Wick is one of my favorite movies of all time. Noir movies, Brick was fantastic. But the problem with fight scenes is they're either amazing or not, and there's rarely ever a eh. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
best fight scene, probably the hallway fight in Marvel's Daredevil. Probably one of my favorite fight scenes in the this series, not the Ben Affleck. Which was, of course, just a bit of a redux of the hallway fight in Old Boy, but Daredevil felt a little more gritty and kind of violent. Second best fight scene in several years, John Wick in his house when they first show up, the assassins, and when he breaks that one guy's neck over the side of the counter. I love fight scenes. I think when they're choreographed properly, they're fantastic, but when they're not, they are not. And they are very obviously not great. John Wick was the best because John Wick was choreographed, written, directed by stuntmen. That is why in some fight scenes you can tell when they're using a stand-in because they're not choreographed by somebody who knows what they're doing. In John Wick, you don't realize that he's killed the same guy 3 times in the same scene. And that guy has been shot, ran off camera, put on a different wig, came and got shot again. And that's how good they did that movie. So, underrated.
Where you, Keith?
Oh, I thought that was going to be a just Joey question. Sorry,
No,
I was not thinking of an answer the entire time for that, you fucker. You said I was going to ask Joey this one.
You said Joey first.
Joey
Yeah,
first.
I know.
Fight scenes in movies.
Uh, hmm. Honestly, they're probably unpaid. Like, there's not great. I mean, like looking, like watching movies, like so, like I loved all those movies growing up as a kid. Like I fucking watch Only the Strong and fucking Lionheart and all that shit. Like watch those as adults, and it's just like the most like core, like the most like t telegraphed fucking shitty action scenes. I don't know. Like, did that make the movie? Do I like action movies? Yeah. Are they? Do I need a fight scene to be 17 minutes of a 30-minute episode of a TV show or something? No. Um, they over like Warrior does a good job because I feel like Warrior has enough story with like that's like the most. I mean, and that even has like excessive fight
I was
scenes,
gonna say,
but
like you just said, you don't need 17 minutes of
yeah,
a
but
30-minute episode,
I
but
would
that's
say
what Warrior
Warrior does it
is.
well. But Warrior is good though. Like if there was like a shitty like what was the one on TNT a few years ago, Into the Badlands. Into the Badlands, I think, was just not as good of action scenes. I don't know. Maybe the first couple, you could tell when they lost their budget basically, and like the shit just went downhill. I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas like Warrior seems like it kept it budget. So I guess uh, overall unpaid, but like because there's more bad and there's good. I guess I'll put it like that. There's more
Yep.
bad action scenes and fight scenes and specific fight scenes in movies than there are good.
I agree with you. I agree with Keith. Like for me, a fight scene like just isn't believable, I guess, right? Like it just takes me completely out. I'm like thinking, how did they do it? Right? Like from I guess probably like ever since like the Matrix started doing wire, what the wire stuff, right? Where they're hovering around like that kind of extreme,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know,
but
comic book fight scene, right? Like that's overused.
you'll notice that I didn't bring that up.
Right.
I did bring up Keanu Reeves though, and it is worth noting that when Keanu Reeves does an action movie, Keanu Reeves sets records. He set Speed, he set The Matrix, he set John Wick. Whenever he's been in an action movie, he resets the entire culture of action movies. With that said, I agree with you, but that is not one of the things I brought up in a fight scene. I
Right.
brought up the choreography because I also watch wrestling. And what is wrestling? It's Broadway. It's dancing. It's violent, but it's choreographed, right? Like, yeah, I'm going to drop you 6 feet on your back, but like, I'm going to tell you when I'm going to do it. It's not a real fight scene. So I think that if you're watching movies
Right.
for the believability of movies, you might want to reconsider why you're watching television.
Right. Like something like I don't know, like Fight Club, right? Doesn't have fight scenes in that Marvel or comic book way, but I mean, they're certainly fighting, right? Like much more
I would say watch.
not believable, but gritty, I guess.
So John Wick is not a great example because gun fu is fucking ridiculous, but it's because it is a comic book style fight scene.
Mhm.
The Daredevil thing I brought up is the opposite of that. It's genuinely violent and gritty. There's one called The Protector with Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa does not use wires. He does not use any of that shit. That's fun to watch. That's a lot of gross broken bones, though. A lot of gross broken bones.
Mhm.
But I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I can see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Action movies aren't my go-to.
Mhm. Yeah, and then there's the stuff much before that, right? Like, in fact, shit, Michael Caine in Goldmember, right? Austin Powers 3, where he says to like the henchman, like, "It's not how this works. You guys come at me one at a time, and I give you one blow and you're out."
Yeah,
right? Like that kind of like James Bond style, like you come at me one at a time, I hit you once and you're down, and like that's it. I'm the hero. Like
I do love in kung fu movies where they do that. They come on the one-on-one, but I always watch the guys in the background because they're just dancing. They're just doing like they're doing a crab shuffle, waiting for their chance to go and attack the guy.
Right. Like if two of you came at the same time, like you just win, right? But no, one at a time.
Fun
That wraps
stuff.
up unpaid or underrated. I think you guys passed. Passed. We can.
I'm glad to hear that. Before we get to our outro, I do want to do a little follow up on last week. From the best of my recollection, we were kind of asking how many Canadian listeners we thought we had. So we got Joey sometimes, Joey's wife, Scance, uh, Big Mabel, who's actually it's not that's just funny. He made it. I think he is a Matt, if I believe, but it's not like a female named Mabel because like my cat's named Mabel. So every time I see that on the Discord, I'm like, is this okay? That's cool. There's a girl with my cat name. I'm like, no, this is a dude. It's like a play on his name, I think. And then there was someone else. Oh, big the Matt, the British. Well, I don't know the big Matt that actually lives in Europe. Right.
Yep.
I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dutch. He claimed that he was from Europe, Canada, but I think it was a joke. I'm not really sure. I caught it and I was like, he said he was the president of Ontario, right?
No, that's Alex. So
Alex. Someone else said it. Okay.
Yeah. So Alex Alex has been to Canada.
Okay, so he's not Canadian.
No, but it's really funny that everybody thinks he is, and him and I have joked about that before.
Gotcha.
But he does listen.
Okay. I could have sworn Matt said something too. It's definitely
Dutch Matt is legitimately Canadian, I think.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So then it is four. So then okay. So I saw Alex's joke comment, and then I did see Dutch Matt's real comment. So that's 4 or 5, and that's is a follow up from last week.
All right. Well, I just want to say one thing, and it's one thing we have not really brought up. I saw it. It's funny you brought it up in the Discord recently because I was thinking about it lately. Start leaving us some reviews. I can't see the American reviews. I can only see the Canadian reviews, and I only have 2. So if you guys are listening and you want to leave a 5-star review, make fun of us, mostly Keith, leave me alone. I'm fragile. And yeah, that would be really cool. It would be fun to see us get some reviews pushed up to the top of the comedy podcast. Are we listed as comedy or fitness?
That's Nate. I don't think there's a fitness adjacent
I was gonna say, I hope it's not fitness. We
category
we do
as we
not
like to
talk
call it.
fitness.
So I had a buddy that listened to my podcast because he thought it was gonna be because he like knows me and knows how whole gym oriented, powerlifting oriented I am. And he didn't understand what I was in massive like he was like he legitimately said, you guys didn't talk about lifting weights very much. I have no clue what episode he listened to, but I
Good.
was just like, I'm like, I feel bad because like I legitimately don't push this podcast on people because it's like there's 500 people that would get it, like
Yeah.
at most, like unless you're like maybe I mean possibly more because we do talk enough about Massonomics that you could not be crew but follow Massonomics and kind of get it, but unless you intend to be crew, like we're literally like, why do you listen to the podcast, David? I'm curious.
Why do I listen? Yeah, I ask myself that question every week. Uh,
I was just thinking that. That's a good answer. Like
No,
why
no, I'm legitimately curious. This is something I've never asked before.
I
I'm
don't know. I think
curious.
this is kind of serious answer, I guess. Like when I was starting my gym, and I said this like 20 times, I think in this episode, right? Like it was peak COVID, right? I wasn't seeing anyone outside my four walls of my house, so I was lifting on my own. I was researching on YouTube how technique and programming and building shit, and I did watch a lot of Coop stuff at that time. Sorry, Big Keith.
Okay.
So then when I
He
so
was all
then
right
when I
back
found
then.
that yeah so then when I found the podcast, it was like community and like your least favorite office character, right? Michael Scott. Like I love inside jokes. I love to be part of one someday, right? Like when you're not getting you're not getting an in-person community, maybe you look for it somewhere else. So just the idea that I was listening, and I somehow like I related to some elements of I don't know, Midwest life or South Dakota life. I understood some of those things. A lot of things I didn't, you know, connect with, but some things I did. Yeah. And so I keep listening to the podcast. I'm in the Discord, massonomics.com/join.
Yes.
Plug for the crew. Yeah, I think.
That is a great answer, but unless I misspoke, my question, why do you listen to our podcast?
Oh, why do you listen to this? I thought you said,
We were literally talking about unpaid
He
and
did.
underrated,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I wanted to know specifically because I was like,
yeah.
I was talking, yeah. So
Their podcast,
what
not
keeps
the
bringing you back?
podcast.
Yeah, yeah, I
The
know,
podcast. Okay.
but
The two E's, right? The
For
podcast.
for meme material.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Meme
was
material.
I was waiting for it to circle back around. Is he going to talk about us and like how it correlates because we're like a part, we're a subsect of them? And I was like,
Yeah,
he's just talking about their podcast. I don't get it.
yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty active on the Discord, so a lot of weeks I don't get to listen to the podcast maybe till like Wednesday, Thursday, and I feel like I'm missing out
Mhm.
on their podcast, right? And then I don't listen if I don't listen to your podcast for a couple of days, I'm missing out on a lot of the chat, right? Like a lot of people listen to it right away. So I guess if I didn't listen, I wouldn't be able to make relevant meme content and join in the discussion, right? But I've also then learned about people I didn't know a ton about, or seen a different side of people who are also pretty active in the Discord. So yeah,
Well,
same answer really, right? Like
I got you.
community and
Love
uh,
it.
niche inside jokes.
That's that's kind of my goal. Like my goal, like with this, like especially now that's like lift hard is going to be a thing. Like before, it could have just been like the Arnold, because a lot of people go to the Arnold, but now with the lift hard, it's like yeah, we're like now you're going to know 30 people that you didn't know because you listened to them talk for 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
oh well, I think we just hit 3 hours. So yeah, let's bring this one for a
We
landing.
did it. I gotta
Well,
pee.
we've been talking for 3 hours. By the time it gets cut and edited and shit, it's probably going to be Jen probably might have edged you out, but it's going to be really close because we've definitely been recording for 3 hours. Love it.
All right. Well, speaking of that, it's time to get out of here, guys. Time to really dive right in, actually. I'm Joey. Like I said, if you're following or listening to this, you follow me. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm getting worse and worse with the outros. Like you guys, like at
Yeah,
first I was
I'm
like,
just I'm
and
gonna start
follow
doing
us
them.
here and like have fun
Yeah,
and I'm like just
because it gives me anxiety that you don't say it. So now I'm
just
gonna
play the
start.
music just so we can go.
So all right, Instagram, unpaid and underrated podcast, website, unpaidinternpodcast.com. I'm Vane, so please go follow me. Big Keith Honeycutt. Well, shit, no. Keith Honeycutt 73 on Instagram. Go follow my Orange Jim, the No Wine Cellar. And one of these Davids is going to tell you where you can find him.
Hold on, did you just say it gives you anxiety if I don't say it and then you said it wrong?
Yes, absolutely. So now I have more anxiety. So now I got to do better next time. You
Hell
tell me.
yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
But I'm almost too tired to have anxiety.
Yeah, you can find my very rarely posted to personal account, I guess, at mills.85, and my meme account, much more interesting and crew adjacent, Deficit Jeffersons. Thanks, boys.
And of course, use our codes when you can.
I think we already touched on it earlier, but yep, no Big Matt this week. He basically bailed again. He had his personal reasons, and we'll see you next Tuesday, boys.